Oh, what's up, you beautiful people? How y'all been doing? I know I've been kind of distant lately. I haven't been posting as much as I wanted to. I've just been kind of busy with school. I've been struggling to find the time, but this is my last week of school, and I got a month off, and after that, I'm gonna be going down to going away for school, so I'm gonna be meeting a lot of new people. And over this winter break, I'm gonna try to do at least 2 a week. I think that's a good goal for me. Even if I don't hit it, that's my goal. I want to just be able to put a bunch of work out. Cause there's just gonna be a lot of people in town. I'm gonna have a lot more people to have discussions with, stuff like that. And yeah, I mean it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna have Chris on. He's been in the Marines for 3.5 years now, and talk about that whole thing, and he just went through a whole ordeal and kind of starting to find himself, and it's kind of interesting to just hear a bunch of different stories about where people are in their lives. I mean, that's the whole basis of the podcast, right? The metamorphosis from child to adult, right? Kind of crazy. So this podcast is long as shit. I'm not even gonna try to dance around the subject. This is like a 3-hour podcast. So if you don't get all the way through it, if you're trying to find Jackson and Alabaster, because I have Jackson from Alabaster on. Awesome, right? I'm gonna leave all those links in the description down below. And for this podcast, it's not gonna be a 2-parter or anything like that. What I'm gonna do instead of, because I've been kind of doing it the janky way, kind of going through a third party to post all this stuff, and I'm finally just gonna make the video, quote unquote. It's the podcast, but it's technically a video on YouTube. I'm finally gonna do it through iMovie, so I can have much better audio quality going through and stuff like that. So it should be pretty cool. Yeah, so I had Jackson from Alabaster on. We had a really good session on just too much. We just kept talking. It's like it never ended. I mean, hell, we could have gone for another couple hours. I think this has been my best podcast by far. I'm really excited for it. And with that, shout out to Sam. Thanks for listening to these. You're gonna like this one. I know you've been waiting on it for a little while. Been holding on to this for about a week, but I've been busy. I mean, what are you gonna do? Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. I think we're starting the next step into what I really want this podcast to be. Maybe not. I don't know. I've just been having a lot of fun with these. Having good conversations. Chris is going to be a good one coming up. I think he's either going to be my next one or in the next couple episodes, so I'm excited. And, yeah, I mean, Alabaster, I think Jackson said they have 2,500 followers, which is kind of crazy. And they're kind of starting to find their way, you know? I mean, we had a whole discussion on if he stopped today. I mean, at least he went for it and stuff like that. And just trying to go after your dreams. Even if you don't achieve the absolute top, you still went for it and you still tried. And you still tried it. And you didn't leave anything on the table. And that's kind of what life's about, right? That's how you have fulfilled life. It's not about the achievements, but it's the attempts. So yeah, guys, appreciate everybody who's listening. Whoever listens, I think this is the best podcast I've done so far. And I'm hoping in the future, or not even in the future, in the next coming weeks, I'm going to be able to do a lot more of these. No, I'm going to do a lot more of these, just flat out. I'm going to try to get Adrian and Ben on, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be a fun couple of weeks, so I'm excited for it, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Have a good one. Hope you guys enjoy this. All the links are going to be in the description down below, so appreciate it all. Have an awesome winter break, guys. Enjoy the nice cold weather. Episode 9 of the Metamorphosis podcast. Let's go.
Oh, baby, you treat me running all over town now. It's bad enough so I've been feeling enough so. Oh, I feel down.
like just plug all your stuff right now. I'll toss this in the beginning.
All right. Just make sure that you didn't. Make sure you get the old one out then, I guess, because I already plugged it. You know.
No, plug it twice, dude.
All right, plug it twice, dude.
Yeah, like just what's your plug? You're Jackson from Alabaster.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jackson from Alabaster, the band, and
where can we find you at?
you can hear us on YouTube, where you gotta look up Alabaster Jamband.
Spell that.
Alabaster.
Jamband.
Jamband, and then we'll come up. We've got like a floral logo, kind of.
Cool.
So.
What's you guys' you guys got like a Facebook page or like a SoundCloud?
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook. That's just facebook.com/alabasterband.
Okay.
And then SoundCloud, I'm pretty sure is also just SoundCloud/alabasterband.
Okay.
So.
Well, awesome. How can people find you?
Personally,
if you even want to disclose that.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it, dude. I don't care. Jackson Gibbons, add me on Facebook.
Awesome. I appreciate you coming on, dude. This was an awesome podcast. This has been my best one by far.
Fuck yeah, I appreciate it.
This will be, I believe, it's podcast number 10.
No way.
Of the actual ones I've been releasing. This is probably the 25th one I've done, but.
And where are you dropping them? Where are these up?
I'm dropping them on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
And then I got a Facebook page that's it's under Loose Throw.
Okay.
Like the famous writer.
Okay.
Like a real asshole. So it really fucks people up when I go to friend them and stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, get out of here. Goddamn. But yeah, that's it. Appreciate it, dude.
All right.
I'll have to add you to the whole thing.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Plug those in.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Put it on a tripod or even just set it right next to the sound guy's booth. And that thing ran me like $350.
Holy shit, yeah.
It's worth it though.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like at the point I am now, like I'm starting to get more particular on what I like to hear, especially with my stuff. And now that I'm realizing the difficulties you have with just running a singular mic with background noise and stuff like that, and it really it becomes the room is you're pulling everything from the room instead of just being able to filter out everything else.
Yeah.
Not to mention it's a dynamic mic or what is it? You got dynamic mics and then you got
like condenser mics.
Yeah, this is a condenser mic and the dynamic mics are a little bit better at holding down sound. So right now I'm looking at boards and mics and stuff like that. Trying to upgrade a little bit.
Yeah.
Still standard budget.
Still though, I mean, it's not like you're in Cali bringing in DJ Khaled on your show and shit.
No, I'm not. But
like it's gonna take time to get the stuff you want, you know. Like
yeah, absolutely.
It's cool. I dig it. How often do you do this?
I try to do them once a week. It's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes I'll get 2 a week. Sometimes I'll get none.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be consistent with it. I'm trying to take it a little seriously.
Good.
Just because I like it. And
no, that's awesome.
even if it doesn't go anywhere, it's just working the skill, working that muscle that a lot of people don't have.
I know. Just to be able to not sound like an idiot on air.
Well, that's part of it too. But just like with media nowadays, like if you're trying to put out a product or anything like that, your ability to create something that people want to listen to or whatever it is, this is kind of important.
Definitely, yeah.
Especially with podcasting being so free form, you can really go anywhere with them.
Yeah, anywhere really. Like
that I really thought I should try to do something with it.
Yeah, no, that's cool, dude. I dig it.
So how's the music thing going?
It's going well.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's going pretty well.
Here you guys are making some headway, making some pretty good moves.
Yeah, I'd say so. It kind of depends on... Everyone's got a different definition of success.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
But, we're just playing out a lot, working on the new album. We took this winter off because we wanted to focus more on finishing the album.
Okay.
So... But,
what are you taking it off and like doing shows or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just really focusing on putting a product out that you really like.
Yeah, because with the old lineup that we had an album, And we cut a record, and we got, like 500 CDs or something. And then the bassist left, the guitar player left, and like we do new music now. So after we sold out of that album, we just decided to stop making more. So it's kind of like the Ghost album, and
Okay.
we're pretending like it doesn't exist.
Wow. So you went in a different direction. How is it different?
I wouldn't necessarily say. I mean, yeah, I guess it kind of is a different direction. It's just with the lineup we had, we were kind of stifled in a way, because not pointing any fingers or anything, but we could only do so many things because of the creative forces
Okay.
that were in that current lineup.
So it was kind of sticking you in a certain genre.
Yeah.
It was kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys were doing a lot of like bluegrass kind of stuff.
Blues.
Yeah, blues.
Yeah.
And right in that area, and you guys were. Seemed like you guys were kind of fitting that cover spot of that kind of psychedelic time period.
Yeah, we were doing a lot of. I mean, and we dressed up like that too. We
Yeah.
still do. I
mean,
dress like
those
that
are your
all the time.
influences.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
but-
just part of it.
I mean,
So now you guys are kind of evolving into your own thing.
yeah, I would say so a lot more. We're being a lot more creative now. We're not afraid of trying different things in the music,
Yeah, and that's just part of the process.
Yeah, so we're still kind of, because we're pretty young still, as musicians and as a band. We've
Yeah,
been
just
around
creatively, you guys
Yeah.
are very young.
2 years, so we're just kind of trying to fit in the shoes still.
Yeah, trying to figure out who you guys are as a
Yeah.
group and what you're
So-
trying to go for. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How's the recognition been? How have people been perceiving you?
Pretty well, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of, it's kind of cool because we've gone on 2 tours. So we did like a West Coast, kinda, and an East Coast. So we hit New York and we hit Colorado.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you get those connections to do a tour like that?
You just call people.
Yeah?
I mean, really, you could, it's hard to pull off, but it's not necessarily hard to book the shows.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, to go on tour is a process.
It's a lot of busy work figuring out what people
Yeah.
need and
Yeah, but I mean, right now, if you were a musician, like, I could book you shows in Colorado.
yeah.
Like,
It's
even-
just a matter of
yeah.
calling the right people.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So, it's kind of cool, because, we'll go to shows and people will be like, hey, I know you.
Yeah, you're starting to get recognition
Yeah.
from people.
So, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
But, we're not rock stars, but...
Not by any stretch of the mean, but you're following the dream, right? You're doing what you
Yeah.
guys are passionate about. It's not about what the product is, it's about the process
No,
getting
exactly,
there.
yeah. And honestly, I mean, what was really cool, I've never wanted to, like, be a rock star, my goal wasn't to fill Madison Square Garden and play and be super fucking rich.
Yeah, yeah.
But I kind of got a taste of that because, are you familiar with Grateful Dead?
Yeah, I saw that whole thing. When you
Yeah.
went down to Wrigley?
Yeah, so...
Yeah, explain the whole thing.
Okay, so the surviving members of the Grateful Dead formed this thing going on called Dead and Company.
Mm-hmm.
So it's surviving members mostly, and then a couple guys to fill in the other spots, and they're out playing Grateful Dead tunes.
Yeah.
So it's very similar to the Grateful Dead. So they've got the huge draw of people, all the Deadheads coming in. There's the lot, all this shit. And they played Wrigley Field for the first time this past summer. And the person, or I should say the company or whatever that owns Wrigley, contacted this guy and said, we need a band to play.
Who's this guy, a promoter?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. But basically, I guess he was, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just call him Jim. Because I
Yeah,
probably
go
should
on.
know his name, but... contacted Jim, and they were like, find us a band to play before Dead and Company.
Yeah, find an opening act.
Yeah. That guy contacted us. And he was like, you guys want to play? We were like, yeah, like that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
We didn't play on the big main stage
Mhm.
because they just built this plaza thing kind of like to the side of Wrigley, but to get into Wrigley, you have to go next to it and through
Oh,
it.
okay, yeah. So a lot of people were walking by and seeing you guys.
Yeah, we were playing, like, there's a couple thousand people in front of us watching us, and then there's a couple thousand people behind us watching us and buying tickets, and then there were people inside Wrigley on the sides watching us, like, down, like, it was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Just kind of setting up, it's getting up there now.
Yeah.
You finally play that show and you're like, oh shit, this is kind of getting legit.
Yeah, kind of. But at the same time, it's like, I think it was a week later, it was like the next weekend, we played in a bar full of like 7 people.
Yeah. But like, that comes with the territory though.
Exactly. It's just like, sometimes you're going to have that really good gig, and sometimes you're going to have that really shitty gig.
Yeah, and if you play them all like you're playing to 10,000 people.
Exactly. Because even the I can't even call them shitty gigs, because some of the best gigs we've ever played, there were 3 people in the room.
Yeah, it just happens that you get the right feeling, the right vibe in there, and it just works out.
Yeah, so.
That whole thing's really cool. I just, what is it? So, Queen. Who's the lead singer of Queen again?
Freddie Mercury.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
But back when they were in their very, very early days, he was known to be very, very, he played very big. Like, even when there was 3-4 people in the bar, he'd be playing like there was, they had a stadium full, and they said, and something about him, they said, oh, this guy's kind of weird, but he had that idea that no matter what show I'm playing, I'm going to play it to as to the highest that I could, the highest that I could even think of. But like, it's the whole thing with like the passion behind it, like the whole podcast I have, and the reason I wanted to get you on was my podcast is called the Metamorphosis Podcast, and it's kind of like analyzing the time period from when you get out of high school to when you're like established as an adult.
Okay.
And how that time's just absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, you're like super ambitious, you'll go take these crazy risks, and you'll kind of follow your dream, where when you're in your 30s, or you have kids, or you have a family, you're not quite as amped to go out on a whim and just go for it.
It's a little more restrictive, I guess, at that age.
Yeah, I feel like right now we have kind of got life by the balls, or we feel like we got life by the balls, and we can just do whatever the hell we want.
Golden years.
Absolutely, and it's this is kind of where we set our groundwork for what the rest of our life's kind of going to be.
Yeah, I would say so.
So, like, hearing what you guys are doing, like, gets me real excited. Like, looking what, like what Zach Tribula is doing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff really gets me excited. Like, people are just going for it. Even if it doesn't work out, they're not leaving that avenue empty.
Yeah.
They're leaving that opportunity open to themselves.
Right, yeah.
When a lot of people are scared to follow their dreams, they're always told that they can or that it'll never happen, but they never try.
I know, dude, and it kills me. I just don't understand, you know, like, I'll never understand why people decide to live in their hometown the whole life and never do anything worthwhile.
Yeah, they feel like they're never gonna be able to.
You know, you get your college degree, that's fine. You work your job, that's cool. Do whatever you gotta do, but, like, have something you're passionate about, you know?
Exactly. Even if you're only doing it once a week or whatever it is, still pursue it. I mean, there's nothing... success is one thing, but you following the dream, even if you make it or not, you still tried it. You still...
Yeah. That's real happiness.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what is it? I find that people are most happy when they do the things that they really are passionate about.
Yeah.
People keep talking about, oh, I'm going to college to make this amount of money or everything like this, when really you should be trying to pursue something that you love, because if it's something you love, no matter what, you're going to figure out a way to get by doing it. Because if you love something enough, you'll do the extra work to do what you have to do to where you're happy doing it. And I see all these people saying, oh, I want to go into accounting because out of the box they make $80,000 a year. I'm like, that's for people that don't love it. That's when the numbers are their thing. Yeah. But, like, a lot of people, they just, like, go and do stuff for no good reason. Or they say, oh, I need to go to college because I need to make... because I want to be successful in life. Which, in reality, a lot of people don't need to go to college. It's about following something... It's about having something you're passionate about and just going for it.
Yeah. They go to college and get these bullshit degrees.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there's a... Well, I mean, currently... Our bassist is going to music school.
Yeah.
and they teach him a lot of great stuff, you know, and they make you a well-rounded musician, because if you go to music school, most music schools, like, you're required to take piano, no matter what. Even if I'm a drummer and I want to go for jazz drumming, I gotta take piano, which is good because that's the best instrument.
It gives you a range.
Right. Yeah. So, but so many of these kids go to music school and try to get this music degree because they think it'll help them.
They think that if they get the degree, it'll get them where they want to be.
Exactly, but
when in reality, it's just a tool for them to use to get to where they're trying to be.
The knowledge that you get from music school is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but no one has ever been hired because they were like, hey, we are a touring band, we do 300 nights a week, we need a drummer, let's, look at some drummers. Oh, this guy has a degree in drumming. This guy played with 12 other major acts.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's pick this guy.
It's like the same thing with the VHS era of film, right?
Yeah.
So like the Linklater and Tarantino and those guys, and like Kevin Smith, none of them had formal degrees, but they followed the dream, and at that point, they were finally able to produce films without the big studios behind them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's what allowed us to see these awesome films like
Clerks.
Exactly. Or,
yeah.
All these films. What is it? The Dazed and Confused. And,
classic.
What Pulp Fiction and all these films that really were revolutionary at their time. They only were able to come out because they didn't have to go through that form. They didn't have to follow that form. Which is it's interesting to me because people value the schooling so much. But you look at the people that are very, very successful, it wasn't the schooling that got them to where they were. It was the passion behind it and the thought and the just being obsessed over it.
Yeah.
I mean, people say obsession's a bad thing, but like in certain instances, it's it turns some of the greatest products out you could ever think of.
No, I agree. Yeah. If someone's obsessed about something in a healthy way.
Well, they'll stop at nothing to get what they want.
Exactly, yeah. Pretty good example, my dad has been in a band since he was 12.
Yeah.
Not the same band, he's been in different bands, but like he lost count of how many bands he's been in. A lot of them he started, and he kind of took a different route because all he wanted to do was just play. He never worried about trying to get famous or anything. Every band he was ever in, I think, was a cover band.
Yeah.
They just, played the high school dances and the local bars and shit like that. But
that's what got him off, right? That's what got him.
Exactly.
That's what made him happy.
He's like 61 and he's still in a band today.
Yeah. But like it wasn't about the product, being famous or whatever. It's about the process and understanding what you're doing, and just even if it never comes of anything, you're still having fun with it.
Yeah, and he was working too.
Exactly.
A working musician. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's hard to be able to not have a day job.
Really?
Just play music.
Like, even if you're just making enough money to get by, like, what's better than that?
Exactly.
Even if, like, you're not living on fucking shitloads of money.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're kind of living within your means, that's still remarkable to be able to say, oh, I was able, for 10 years, I was able to live on just money I made doing music.
And I know, that's impressive.
And in that instance, I would say you made it. Like, it's understanding your expectation for it.
Yeah.
And like, even if you just aspire to get to here, just go for it. Yeah. You never know where it's going to take you.
Yeah. I think pursuing your dreams has never been a bad thing.
No, absolutely not. Because, I mean, nowadays, this is kind of a common thing, people change their careers multiple times in their life.
Yeah. Even before they leave college.
Exactly. A lot of people say that they haven't figured out they didn't figure out their true passion in life or what they really wanted to do until they were in their 40s or 50s.
Yeah.
But if you're, let's say, 20 and then you go in and all out for the next, till you're 40, let's say, and you say, finally, it just gets to a point you're like, I gotta just go straight now.
Yeah.
You're not going to regret those 20 years because you went for it.
Absolutely not.
Even if it didn't succeed, you still made the attempt. You still did what you were passionate about.
Yeah.
I find that really important. But I feel like there's like a kind of a lot of people don't understand that. You can kind of go into whatever avenue and just go for it because life is short. What's the point of letting it go by?
I know. So many people get pigeonholed by that thing that they think they have to do.
Yeah.
You know, I thought all while we were in high school together, I thought I was going to be a graphic designer.
Yeah.
And open up my own print shop and make t-shirts till I was dead.
Yeah.
You know? And like, making shirts is still something I enjoy. I make all the band merch.
Yeah.
So, but like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have my own shop and... I don't know. Maybe when I'm like 50.
Yeah, maybe when your identity changes a little bit, because we're constantly changing people. We're the only time where the person we are today is in the moment.
Exactly.
Our perspective and what our idea of everything changes so quickly.
It's sporadic.
Absolutely.
I mean, I never thought when I don't know, when I was younger, I never thought I would be in a working band.
No, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I'd find other people that were passionate enough.
Yeah.
And, you know, fast forward a couple of years and now I'm 2 years strong doing this shit.
Exactly. And you're having a great time doing it.
Yeah. I've got a day job too.
Absolutely.
You know, we tried to do this full time and we were all broke. So
there's novelty in that.
Yeah. Just
being able to work your 9 to 5 but still be able to do the stuff you really enjoy in all your spare time, because it becomes part of your life.
If I didn't have this kind of outlet, I would probably be a very sad boy.
and every time I talk to you and see you, I mean, we're both very busy people. You're always in a great mood. You're always like, fuck yeah. You always got that awesome rapport around you, and it really gets me excited because a lot of people, they're just down in the dumps. Oh, I had to work 60 hours a week. Oh, you don't know what work is like. I'm like, no, you're just doing the whole system wrong.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, one of my biggest pet peeves when people do jobs just for the money. Like, people are, like, going into careers just for the money.
Yeah.
I have a neighbor, and he's a really smart guy. He's going into firefighting, but he was in the trades before that. But really quick guy. And he said, work, the 40-hour interruption of your day. the 8-hour interruption of your day. And I said, that is the worst idea of what work should be. I mean, work should be something you're passionate about, where if you are in a career, right, and this is like your main focus in life, you should be excited to wake up every day. I mean, you may not want to get up at 6 in the morning or 4 in the morning or whatever it is, but you do it because you love what you do. Yeah. Nobody should be saying, oh, fuck, I got to go to work today. Yeah. What's the point of work then? Yeah. I mean, people get this fucked up idea of that they need to make a lot of money, and that the money is what's gonna be their proof in life. How they show their achievement in life.
You know, no one when you die, you know, and they're all standing around your casket, they're not going, oh, he was a great man. He had a Corvette. He had 40 acres. No.
No, I mean, people talk about your character.
Right. You know, I mean, he was a great guy. He laughed a lot. You know, made people smile. That kind of shit.
Gave great advice. You know, very open person, whatever it was. But people get lost in this idea that what life is just a race to get the most money. Yeah. And I feel like that it's much, much more than that.
I agree.
That I don't see that there's anything wrong with making a lot of money if it's something you're passionate about and it gets you up every day. Sure, yeah. But Bill Gates is a great example. He's been one of the richest people in the world for nearly 30 years. He's one of the biggest philanthropists in the world.
Yeah, he gives back a lot.
He gives back.
He just invested a ton of money into how to explain it? They just invented meat from stem cells, basically.
Yeah, it's where they can grow meat.
Yeah, they grow meat. He threw like $1 billion into it or whatever.
Yeah. Or like, look at Elon Musk. He's changing the world single-handedly. Yeah. Because he's had this forward thinking, he says, I don't give a shit about the money at this point. I've made enough already. Yeah. I mean, he's just like, he's making an effort to...
He's like, fuck it, I'm going to build a rocket.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, fuck it, I'm going to go to the moon. Yeah. He's like, but he's doing these things that are completely for the planet and for the people of the world, that only benefits people. And he's doing it in a manner where, he's creating these companies that make money.
That's the model we're living in, though.
But
know
you're
what I
in
mean?
capitalism. You have to make money, otherwise it's going
yeah.
to fail.
It's just how you gotta make money to spend money, and you gotta make money to change the world.
Exactly. I mean, 10 years ago, nobody believed that it was practical to have a real electric car.
Yeah.
They thought hybrids were as far as they were going to go, and that was going to be it.
Yeah.
He's over the past 10 years, he's really changed people's mindset on it. Even if people don't think it's, not every car is going to be electric or whatever it is.
Still.
He's making an effort to change the mindset of people, which is the most important part. For the longest time, people thought electric cars were going to be these bumbling pieces of shit that never went, that were slower than shit.
Right.
And he's making cars that are fast as hell. And
I know.
And even big muscle car heads, they even give him respect. They're like, yeah, that thing's fast as shit.
Yeah, I know. People I never would have expected to be like, I would love an electric car. We're like, yeah, Teslas are pretty cool. You know.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Like it's just it's crazy, like the mindset change.
Right.
Because you can make the greatest product in the world, but if you never change the mindset of somebody to buy it, or change the effort of somebody to have them understand what it is, or have them give it respect, it'll never get off the ground.
Yeah, and it's weird because a lot of inventions are made and invented, I guess, that are great, and I think they're called BioLite, like those little stoves for the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
You put wood in them and it can like charge your phone and shit.
Yeah.
There's more to it, but that's off the top of my head. That's what I remember. And they like donated something like a couple hundred to like people in Africa.
Yeah.
And and it's like, yeah, if everybody had those, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And it would probably make an impact. But,
Yeah, and it would probably make a difference in these in these more poor areas.
Yeah, but so many people in this country, at least, I can't speak for other countries, but they just don't give a shit about a lot of stuff like that.
Well, I think when you're looking at us as people, you have to figure out what we like, right?
Yeah.
The whole idea of a business, even if you have a great idea, if you're not looking at who your audience is, who's going to consume your product, nobody's going to buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at today. I mean, if you're coming out with, let's say you're trying to be the next Frank Sinatra, nobody's going to buy that because nobody wants to listen to it.
Yeah.
Like,
which is sad.
It's sad, but like, we already have Tony Bennett. We already have Frank Sinatra. I mean, we already got Michael Bublé and all these guys. You have to look at it, unless it's something original or something new or something that something that people actually want.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to buy it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just.
And like, even if that's a real original product, if there's no people who really want to buy it, or it never sees the airwaves, if it never gets shown or nobody talks about it, it's still not going to go anywhere. I mean, you could have a great album, but if nobody listens to it, is it really great?
I know. That's what kills me too, because a lot of the best albums I've ever heard ended up being some strange, obscure band from Canada that no one has ever heard of.
Exactly. But like, that's part of underground music, that they're doing what I feel that the underground music, where they don't look at what sells or anything like that, and they just focus on that, that's the purest form of music. If it's most beautiful to the person who's making it, that's what's most important.
Yeah.
With commercial success, it's all about making stuff that people will listen to on a broad spectrum. That's why pop music is so popular.
Yeah.
It's very generic. It fits in a very specific mold.
Yeah.
And it covers a very, very large group of people.
It's true. Yeah. It's the people pleaser of music.
Exactly. But like, we have this rolling evolution of music where certain scenes come in and certain scenes come out. And it's like, with the 60s, you had the psychedelic era, and that really ruled the time, and then it kind of turned into this, kind of changed into something else, where in the 70s it kind of formed into this more mainstream music.
Yeah.
And
then the 80s happened.
and then cocaine hit, and it was all over from there.
Yeah.
And then we got like Pat Benatar and fucking shit like that.
Yeah. I was actually just watching a lecture from Questlove, if you know who that is.
No.
He's like a studio musician, but he also you ever heard of the Roots
I have.
They're the band that Jimmy Fallon, like on his show.
Yeah.
The band that plays.
Yeah.
That's the Roots.
Okay.
And Questlove gave a big lecture just about a lot of stuff, but he was talking about the eras of hip hop.
Exactly.
And how each era kind of reflected what drug was big at the time.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
there's the crack era, and like right now we're going through the Molly era.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was a funny way to look at it.
Absolutely. But like that's with everything. Like I think music has a lot of, especially the mainstream music, what we hear and what we consider these eras.
Yeah.
The drugs have to do a lot with them,
Yeah.
but it's also the mindset that were around those drugs.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because like the reason that we had the psychedelic era was not only because they were doing the acid and smoking a lot of weed and heroin and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
It was also the mindset. It was like the peace and love. It was the anti-war movement that was also pushing the music.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was the long hair and the all that stuff. And as time went on, what that era kind of got, they took the parts that caught people's ears the most and kind of mainstreamed it into like the mainstream music we heard in the 70s.
Yeah.
Which I can't stand the 70s. I'm
Really?
like, I fucking hate the 70s, especially like the late 70s. Oh man, I feel like it's one of the worst eras of music.
Really?
Yeah, I think once like post 72, 73, like I just feel like it just went down the drain.
Okay.
Like especially like the mainstream stuff. Like I fucking hate the Cars and the Eagles. I fucking hate them. I just think they're horrific.
Yeah.
I just feel like they don't represent what they were actually playing.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
And I feel like when like Ozzy and Black Sabbath and stuff, when they went to a darker medium, I think that really represented the time period.
Yeah. Sabbath.
Like the fucking the dirty shit, and then fucking getting into the 80s, you had like Megadeth and fucking Slayer and all these groups that were just fucking hardcore, and then like you had this different kind of pop scene, the cocaine fueled pop scene, with like Pat Benatar and fucking Cher and Madonna, which like like they were sucking dick and putting out albums, dog. Like they were making some crazy shit. And,
yeah, seriously.
like you have so many eras within eras. You have that hair metal era, which is like the most mainstream fucking bullshit ever.
Yeah.
And then you have Guns N' Roses come out, and they fucked the world up.
I know.
Because they were real, right? They were all fucking heroined out and just fucked up. They were just fucking destroyed the whole goddamn time.
Yeah.
Like you look at watch the video when they're getting their Grammy. Those guys are fucked up, dude.
Yeah, they're probably trashed.
Dude, they were fucking annihilated. You just look at them, they all got their sunglasses on, they got these fucked up smirks on. You're like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, these guys were doing heroin 20 minutes before they got there.
Yeah.
Like, these guys were just fucking annihilated. And you're like, yes. But, like, it also goes to, like, and then through the 90s, we had that whole era, and then we got
the grunge.
The grunge era where they're all doing heroin. It's like music got real again.
Yeah.
Like you felt it again.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of grunge. I respect all music, and I can listen to pretty much all music, but that's definitely not my favorite era. But that definitely had a very profound effect on the people of that time.
Absolutely. And I really appreciate that whole area because they were in this little area, right? This group in Seattle, and it was very isolated. Nobody really heard about them until they kind of made it big, and they really brought emotion back into music.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate. I mean, you listen to like Alice in Chains Down in a Hole.
Yeah.
And
Alice in Chains are great.
You can just hear the fucking depression. You hear the fucking heroin just in his voice, and you just say, "Fuck, this is real," right?
Yeah.
And like you don't get that from like the more mainstream stuff from like different time periods.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, music's gotta be real, and that's the hardest thing sometimes as a musician to like. How do I broadcast?
How do I capture an emotion?
Yeah, and that's what I think is interesting about poetry. Because I recently kind of got into poetry.
Okay.
And, like, you'll be scrolling through Facebook, and then you'll see, like, somebody speaking on a microphone. And you're like, oh, I wonder what he's got to say. And you click on it, and it's like, oh, it's a poetry reading. That's cool.
Yeah.
And the words it's got such a different effect because poetry kind of it doesn't walk you through at all. With music, it kind of gives you a way to feel.
Yeah.
And you can kind of
they have the music has its own emotion,
right.
And the lyrics add another layer to it.
Well,
and
poetry is like you have to decipher it almost, because
you have to create your own meaning out of it.
Right, 'cause there's a difference between "let me in" and "let me in."
Mm-hmm. Like you have a tone to it and everything else,
yeah.
but when it's just dead, when it's got a dead tone to it, you
right.
have to pull out your own meanings out of it.
Exactly. So that's why I think poetry's cool. But I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah, but it's this thing. Like poetry is the most raw version of what a feeling can be. You can really decipher it into whatever you want it to be. I've gotten into a lot of kind of motivational stuff and like
sure.
what the meaning of life is and stuff like that, and like the power of absolutely. I brought that up for us. Go ahead. But like the power of words and just trying to figure out what the whole meaning of life is, and for everybody it's different, but like trying to figure out how to make the most out of what I got.
Yeah.
Because I had this really bad battle with depression when I was in high school, and I ended up going to the hospital. And after that, I realized like I had to change my mindset. Because before I was really had this mindset. When I get out of high school, I'm gonna go in the industry and I'm gonna start my own business after 7-8 years because I'll have the experience then. And I'm just the sky's the limit because I'm a hustler. This is what I do. If I get an idea in my head, I can fucking go balls deep on it forever. But after time, I had that battle, and this was right before I went and like fucked skills up and got my 3 medals and shit.
Yeah, that was impressive.
But it was like in that time period, like. Earlier, it was like around the spring break time, so probably a little bit more over a month before that.
Okay.
But I was having this big issue because the whole reason I had gone to skills is because my brother had won 6 years before that, and
okay.
And
so
I
had that pressure.
No, I had always lived in the shadow of my brother.
Yeah. Okay.
And so going in, and I always looked up to him and stuff like that, but I was never able to eclipse his shadow. So going into high school, I said, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to win, right? I just had this in my head.
Yeah.
Never have done this stuff before. Didn't even know if it was going to come natural to me. I just said...
That was CNC, right?
It was just machining in general.
Okay.
But, so going into high school, I had this mindset saying, this is just my goal. Like, this is my goal. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I don't give a shit.
Cool.
So, like, I go into the class, and my mom's telling me, oh, this might not be for you. You're your own person. And I just use that as fuel. I'm like, okay, like, you're just telling me I can't do it. That means I have to, right? I got to prove you wrong. Which, like, there's nothing wrong with having a mindset like that, saying that, oh, I'm doing this because I want to prove people wrong. But, like...
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah, so, like, I committed myself to doing this. I was taking classes at the college and all this other stuff. And I was really, like, that was, like, my whole existence was for this. Like, I had quit sports. This has become... That became, like, my fucking thing, right? And freshman year I eat shit, and I'm just like, I'm trying to compare him, because he went 3 years as well. He went sophomore, junior, senior year, so my freshman year I eat shit, I fucking get second to last or whatever. And he did very similar to that, so I said, okay, the next year I gotta do better.
Right.
My brother's second year, he got fourth, and I said, fuck it, I want to beat him, right? So I go in there and I kill it, right?
Yeah.
They're like talking up Ian, like, they're like the guys there, they're talking to Ian saying, oh, if you go to state or if you go to nationals, and I'm over here, the sophomore, the fucking young kid, right?
Right.
I end up blowing him out of the water.
Wait, Ian who?
I'm a 2.
I don't think I remember who that is, but
yeah.
Continue.
But his dad was in the industry and he knew the people running the competition.
You still whooped him?
Exactly.
Nice.
And I fuck him up, right? I get third, and the two guys that won were both seniors that had competed for 4 years.
Right. Yeah.
And Montrester told me this after that. He said I was the youngest kid to medal he's ever had.
What?
And he ran skills for over 30 years, or close to 30 years.
Yeah, he's probably still doing it.
Yeah, I mean, he's retired now.
Oh.
Yeah, he retired.
Not,
he retired after you guys left. But he said I was the first I was the youngest kid to ever medal, and previous to that, I was the youngest kid to ever actually compete as a freshman. Because normally it's kind of restricted to juniors and seniors, but I had this dead set in my head that I was going to do this.
Nice.
So going into my junior year, I was really set up. The 2 competitions I did really poorly in, I was already set up. Like, I had it in my head. Like, I had practiced for a whole year.
Wow.
And, like, really busted my balls to really get to the point where I wanted to be.
It's more preparation than I did.
Well, I was dead set in my head. I was tired of living in my brother's shadow. I had motivations that most people didn't.
Right, yeah.
So I said, at that point, I had known I was going to fuck shit up. I knew I was going to win. I just had it set in my head. I knew what the competition was going to be like, and I was like, I'm going to fuck this up, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to destroy. So I'm in that time period where I already knew I was going to win. Like, I just had it dead set in my head. I'm like, nobody's going to fuck with where I'm at. Like, I'm so ahead. Like, I'm so fucking ahead.
Yeah.
And I was, like, in that period where nobody gave a fuck. And I was like, I put in all this time to get to where I want to be, and nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck. Because, like, I was so dead set on this. And now that I had kind of felt like I had eclipsed it, nobody was giving me the recognition. I was like, fuck, what the fuck's the point of all this shit?
Like, you tried so hard to do
I tried so hard to get the recognition, and I achieved what I was trying to do, and I still never got the recognition I was looking for.
Yeah.
Because I've always had this weird rapport with my father, because he's kind of the blue-collar guy, and he respects people who work a fuck ton and just kind of like give up a bunch of shit and just go for it.
Right, he's got that workhorse. Same
with just
my
like
stepdad and my grandpa.
Yeah, which I can't fault him for it. I mean, that's how he was raised, and that's just how he is.
Times were different back then.
No, absolutely, but like he's always been the person where you just fucking grab life by the balls. You cut off the shit you have to cut off to get the stuff you need to get done. And even after that, I was never getting the recognition. Nobody was like, oh, why did you try so hard to beat your brother? Why was that so important to you? And it wasn't that I want to be better than him. I just wanted to be treated like him.
Yeah.
I wanted the same kind of recognition. And after I went down there, I fucked shit up. I went to nationals, but I had to change.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That was fucking awesome. I ended up staying with these guys from like south of Chicago. They were doing like the quiz bowl.
Really?
Yeah. But like I was down there by myself, like nobody from McHenry, and they kind of let me kind of just hang out with them and stuff.
That's cool.
And it really allowed me to make new friends and stuff like that. And
that's cool. I dig the skills program.
I'm a big proponent of it. But after that, after that whole thing, and Montrester had found out about what had gone around with me, because I disappeared for a week. I ended up going to a hospital and spending 8 days in a hospital, and just really trying to focus on changing the mindset. Because I just felt like I was never going to amount to what I wanted to.
Yeah, especially when you tried so hard and then you didn't get what you were looking for. I'm sure that was pretty destructive for you.
But it was always like that. Like I always felt like I didn't see the meaning anymore. Like I lost the whole point of it. And like after, and like I had gone to the hospital and I was just like in this really bad emotional state. And it probably didn't help. I was listening to fucking Megadeth and like the two, like I was listening to just like heroin music.
Yeah.
Just like depressed, like I'm gonna fucking like this is the worst. And like I just like put it into this thing, but I'm really happy I did because I was able to feel my emotions again. I felt human, even if I was this deep, dark, sad person. I wasn't empty.
Right.
I was actually feeling something. And over time, I had changed my mindset. And Montrester had talked to me about his issues and stuff like that. And previous to that, he'd kind of brought up me going into teaching. And I said, nah. I was like, yeah, that might be cool, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to be able to make money, whatever. But like, I started to look at it, and I said, fuck, like and I'm starting to realize how much of a difference this makes in a lot of people's lives, like the industrial arts classes, for those kids that it's either that college isn't right for them or like they're not interested in the white collar work, because a lot of people, they just like working with their hands.
Yeah.
And
I'm right there with you.
And like I'm looking at my brother who's doing really well for himself. He's in the trade. He's working on
In machining? Or?
yeah, and manufacturing, yeah.
Okay.
And he's doing really well for himself, real smart, but like all through high school, he was quoted as being like one of those kids that wasn't going to go very far.
Right, yeah.
Like if he graduated high school, that was good for him. Like that was all he was going to achieve.
Yeah, people were expecting him to be a super senior kind of shit.
Well, not even that. Like he was passing his classes, but he was never like achieving high. He was like in that middle row, or he was averaging like he wasn't making honor roll, but he was like getting by.
Yeah.
And like school never came easy to him. And it wasn't that it was a lack of trying, it's just the sit down and like the actual academic way of life just it wasn't conducive to him.
Not everyone learns the same way.
Exactly, and not everybody functions in a similar manner.
Right.
Everybody's unique, and everybody has a different way to do stuff. And after seeing my brother, who at 14, he had shoehorned a snowmobile engine into a tractor. Right? A lawn tractor.
What?
14 years old. Made it all work, and he would rip around their neighborhood doing 40 on a lawnmower.
What the fuck?
Fucking crazy shit, right? It's not like he's a dumb kid, but like, that's just how his brain works, right? And he was lucky enough that he went to McHenry, which is one of the weirdest schools in what they offer and what they allow kids to take.
Yeah.
McHenry is one of the very, very rare schools that has industrial arts as it is.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for my brother going there and being able to take machine classes, my brother probably wouldn't have been more than a fucking general mechanic making $30,000 a year.
Right.
And now he's got the opportunity, and down the road he might make his own business, and he's in a very favorable position in a skilled trade that really isn't recognized.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that, like, you know Kyle Grunfeld, right?
I think so.
Yeah, but like you know Adrian.
Maybe.
Well, fucking all these guys that I had these classes with, now they're in careers or working towards careers that they otherwise would have never been in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. No, that's good.
So like Adrian's I've known Adrian for a long, long time, and every time I see him, he says, or I talk to him about he's in school right now getting an associate's degree in machine repair, like
he's on the right track.
A niche spot in manufacturing. It's in demand and everything like that.
Yeah.
And every time I talk to him about it, he says, "Fuck, I wish I paid more attention in class, right? In the class,
Oh, we all.
because in manufacturing especially, because he said he just fucked around in there, and we were just dumb kids and fucking doing dumb shit. But I'm like, yeah, you didn't do a whole lot in the class. But you can't say fucking, I wish I did more, because you're still on the path. It did its job. But like, that's just me, and that's why I'm pursuing what I'm pursuing.
Yeah, that's good.
But like, I've realized that people need to be doing stuff out of passion and really be in love with what they're doing instead of being in love with the product, what they're actually...
Yeah.
Because if you're in love with just the money that's going out, you're never gonna be happy.
Right. Yeah. Dude, something's in the water in this county, and some people it affects them in the way that they become very closed-minded, and become a townie basically. And you just never do anything.
Yeah, they make their life very simple.
Yeah, but with some people, for some weird fucking reason, this town, this area, has birthed so much talent that just, I don't know where the fuck it came from. You know what I mean?
I think that might just be everywhere. But like, okay, there's something about McHenry, especially McHenry as just a little sample of what it could be. So McHenry, if you didn't know, McHenry has one of the highest graduation rates in the state.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of that's attributed to the industrial arts programs.
Yeah.
Because it allows a lot of these kids that are not the most passionate about school, gives them a reason to come to school, and gives them opportunities beyond school.
Yeah.
And it really opens a lot of doors, opens a lot of eyes.
Yeah, graphics was the whole reason I came to school.
Exactly.
I had like 5 periods of graphics.
And they attribute a lot of the reason why we have such a high graduation rate to that.
Yeah.
And just people have a reason to come to school. Oh, I fucking hate school, but autos is shit, I'll show up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, they have somebody that holds them accountable. Like, the autos teachers say, hey, we need to get this done, or you need to get this done. and they're more passionate about showing up and doing the things they enjoy, and they're not worried about the grades.
Right. Yeah.
But they're getting by. They're doing the stuff they need to be doing. And I attribute a lot of that to that. And just the ability to have these kids go to that avenue. But I don't know. I mean, there's so much to it, and I don't think we realize how weird this time we're in is. Just like
yeah.
Just like the whole like this time period of life, like where we are in our this part of our life, this chapter in our life. Just where we are is huge. We're really able to explore so much and open our minds, but at the same time, the opposite can happen where we get stuck in these traps where you're just worried about the dollar amount. Yeah. So really, when you open that avenue up where everybody's been on this track through high school, and then you go wherever you want, I think a lot of things can happen there.
I think, it could maybe just be the time we're in because there's so much knowledge to pull from and people are understanding, like, okay, things can be done. I just think for some reason, like, because none of the other, you talk to your parents and maybe like one person they went to high school with is like successful, air quotes. Be like, oh, I went to school with the owner of some company that's got 6 franchises in the area. It's like, oh, that's cool. Every time I go get a hot dog here, that's the dude, whatever.
Yeah, he's pulling his 10 cents out of that.
Yeah, but, like, okay, so I'll start just with us.
Okay.
Us, Alabaster, we're doing our thing right now, and we're doing it pretty successfully.
Yeah.
Munyon is a band from Cary. And they are like a signed act, super fucking good, touring the country all the time. You're doing your thing. You've got a podcast going on right now. Like, you're pursuing your dream.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to make something out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sydney, how do you say her last name? Josniak?
Yeah. She's got like a successful YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, like she's killing it right now. Like there's so many, there's more. I had a list of people that I know that are like pursuing their dreams.
Yeah, like going for it. Like Zach Tribula.
Yeah, Zach Tribula.
And he's just going for it. He says, "Yeah, I might not make a wave in this. I got a direction where I'm going, but like the music's where I'm passionate. Where I end up in it, I don't care as long as I'm doing this."
And he's fucking good.
He is.
Like,
he's passionate about it. He's passionate about it.
He's not just like, oh, I'm gonna be a SoundCloud rapper and just mumble.
Yeah,
I mean, like, he is passionate about the music that he's passionate about, and he wants to make that kind of music, and he's fucking good at it. And like I really hope he gets scooped up by somebody or something, because like he's got talent. And it's a little different being a rapper than being a band.
Yeah, to a point, yeah.
Because us, like, we can always just work and hit every fucking bar we can.
Yeah.
And just keep doing it. But
like you can find a way to get by.
Yeah, and that's what we did the past 2 years. Like, we just been working our asses off.
Yeah.
And then...
But, like, that's the biggest thing. Like, you guys are consistent with it. Like, when I had him on the podcast, he was, like, saying, oh, I've just been... sometimes I'm kind of sporadic with it, and I'll come out with this, come out with that. And, like, we were just talking about, like, how consistency beats out everything. If you're... And we had a whole conversation about one of the rappers he follows, who was an underground guy, and he finally, after 7 or 8 years, he finally got the recognition.
Nice.
And he's really blowing up now, and apparently this is like one of the guys he's really passionate about, like, sharing that information and sharing, just keep grinding, keep pushing.
Cool.
And we had like a long conversation about that. But like that's like real important, is just going for it. Consistency beats out everything. If you consistently work on something for an hour every day, eventually you'll get good at it.
Yeah.
And it's like the 10,000 hour rule.
Yes.
Nobody's gonna be good at anything overnight.
Right.
Nobody.
All these people that you think are prodigies, all these famous John Coltrane, all these people that are gods of their instrument, that's because when they were 10, they woke up at 6 in the morning and played until 5 at night. Yeah,
like you look at athletes, for an instance. I'm kind of a big sports fan. I just like the story behind it.
Sure. Yeah.
But the players that make it, right, are not the ones that have the natural ability. Some of it goes into it.
Yeah.
But it's that they constantly work on their craft. They're constantly working on their craft.
That's what it's
about. And I think that's how it is with everything. If you're passionate about it, put all your time into it. Put as much time into it as you can. And like, that's why I'm trying to be consistent with this. Because I just got the mic and said, okay, I downloaded Audacity and I just started doing it.
Yeah.
And over the past 2 years, I've kind of grown with it, and I've started. I'm learning more about.
It's 2 years strong.
No, not 2 years strong.
Oh.
Like on and off.
Okay.
But I consistently try to pursue it.
Still.
I try to do it with one person.
Yeah.
But like, it took me a year and a half just to put out a product I was happy enough to put out.
Yeah.
Like I was just
Yeah.
I was just recording them and they weren't turning into anything.
Yeah.
And I was just fucking with it, right? And I was just fucking with the whole idea of it. Sitting down, doing a podcast, and trying to figure out your voice, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what you want to talk about. It wasn't up until September is when I finally said, this is what the podcast is about.
Okay.
And I finally locked it down.
Cool.
Because before I was trying to do with certain people. And
I like the idea behind it, by the way. The whole, like, the main premise.
yeah. But like, I'm
cool.
trying to like get people to talk about their experiences and stuff like that. And almost all of them that I have on, like we're talking about certain ideas and like just like that whole mindset about the time and how and one of my favorite things about podcasts and stuff, the more information you take in, listen to different people's opinions, the more your opinion is wholesome.
Yes.
The more different opinions you hear on the same thing, the broader your own opinion will be.
Yeah.
And understanding different sides of it and having an open mind is what allows people to understand things as a whole.
Yeah. Because, I mean, how many times have you been, you know, like you're with a buddy and, you know, your buddy's like, oh, BMWs are shitty cars.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, really? And he goes, yeah, this is why. And you go, huh. And then I hang out with you next week. And I'm like, oh, check out that Beamer over there. And you're like, yeah, I don't know, dude. I heard Beamers are kind of shitty cars. And then I'm like, oh, well, you know, I heard the opposite. Did you know this is what makes them cool?
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah, really.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you
maybe they're not so bad.
Together.
Like, it just you can't be so closed-minded. You got to make sure your opinion is round.
Yeah. And if you have an opinion, you got to be able to accept that other people are going to have other opinions.
Yeah. That's one thing I've been really frustrated with.
Absolutely. Lately. And I got to say a lot of it, I feel with politics in general, I feel like everything is it's so bipolar.
Yeah.
It's very, what's the word? It's polarizing.
Okay.
So it's either you're on one side or the other. There's very little middle ground with today's politics.
Yeah.
It's either you're right or you're left, and years ago it used to be everything's very bipartisan. Even if the Republican and Democrat hated each other, they would sit down and figure out what they could do to get it done.
Yeah.
Which you don't see anymore.
No,
they will specifically say "fuck you."
Yeah, I'm right and you're wrong. If you don't believe in what I believe in,
exactly,
you're a racist.
Exactly, and when we have these such extreme sides, which I hate both of them.
I do too.
Absolutely.
I'm right in the middle.
I'm a libertarian. I just like what they stand for.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I like the idea of socially very liberal. Where if you want to be transgender, we don't care.
Exactly.
Why is politics even getting involved with this?
I don't know.
But very fiscally conservative, not spending money where we don't need to, and just trying to make it a place where we can flourish as who we want to be.
Yeah, I'm of the nature where it's like, I'm gonna do me.
Yeah.
You do you. As long as you don't shoot, steal, or rape, we're fine.
Exactly. I mean, the American dream is built on the equal opportunity, the idea of equal opportunity for all. That if you're this black kid in the ghetto, you can fucking grab yourself by your bootstraps, figure out or make the right connections. You can go to school, and all this stuff, and having these opportunities is allowing people is what allows America to reach such achievements. When you say you can go as high as you can, people are going to shoot for the stars.
Yeah.
Even if it's not everybody, it allows everybody the opportunity to get up there.
And if you don't take the opportunity, that's on you.
Exactly, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
But with society as a whole, when you say, "Oh, you can't do that," "Oh, you can't do that," I mean, it really puts limitations on it.
Yeah.
And like trying to oppress certain races or certain groups of people, I mean, it really gets under my skin because it really shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And
I don't understand it. You can be on the phone with someone.
Yeah.
And I wish that would be a kind of a cool idea if like every citizen was like required to spend a certain amount of time on the phone with someone they've never met.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, like you just be on the phone and just talk. 'Cause you don't know what they look like. You don't know anything about them.
Because so many people lack perspective.
Yeah.
Like people say, "Oh, we need to get rid of all the drugs, so there's not all these issues in the ghettos and stuff like that."
Yeah.
But like the reality is, there's no jobs. There's a rapper Freddie Gibbs. Adrian had shown me to him, but he's got this awesome line. Unemployment over 60%. Why do you think we're selling dope?
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
This is the only way to get by.
Yeah.
And like, there's people lack perspective, saying, "Oh, we need the war on drugs."
Yeah.
What did that do? It just raised the prices. More people want them, and
Exactly.
it created a bigger problem. And then the government saying, "Yeah, we won."
How do you feel about like
Decriminalization of drugs?
Well, no.
Okay.
I don't know. Like people now, like you can go and get free. The fuck is it? You know, when you overdose, you pop the.
Oh, fentanyl, or the reversal drug.
Yeah, the reversal drug.
Oh yeah.
Fentanyl's what's killing people right now.
Yeah.
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 Like you can just go and get that anywhere. Like it's good in case someone's overdosing and you're like, oh shit, good thing I have this. But at the same time, like, don't you think that kind of encourages use? You know what I mean?
Hold that thought. I gotta pee.
Okay.
But I have a rebuttal to this.
Okay, cool.
Because I've done research on this.
Alright, do you want me to go live?
No, what?
Do you want me to go live
What do you mean?
on Facebook?
Yeah, up to you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're cool.
I'll do it.
Jeez, don't drink two of those fucking. Damn. Yeah, but what you're saying, how do I feel about the giving people these abilities to make using drugs safer?
Yes.
So like giving out clean needles and giving out the.
Yeah, like it's good, but I mean, I don't know. I just think it's kind of. It's like that parent that's like, well, you know, if you're gonna smoke pot, do it in my house, you know.
Yeah. Well, here's how I feel about the whole thing. So with I feel that when you pin the system against these people, right? You say when you increase the likelihood of these people going to jail and stuff like that, people are very much discouraged to get off drugs and to quit and stuff like that.
Right.
If you give them this ability to have clean needles
Let's see how we can do this.
Yeah, let's try this. Oh, you got a new phone? You got like a modern phone? Remember you always had these like old janky looking phones?
Yeah, I know.
Now you got one like...
I got a nice one.
Damn. I remember your Snapchats were even like super low resolution for a while.
It's still pretty shitty. This one's LG, but it's like a budget. I use Cricket.
Okay,
So,
yeah, that works.
The service is pretty good. So,
Yeah, you can't complain about that.
there you go.
But what you were saying about like giving out, it gives the people a way to get away from that. If you
Yeah.
treat drug addiction like a mental illness, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's an addiction of the mind instead of a criminal action. People are going to have a much easier path to getting clean and getting sober. When you make these pathways, we have a system of rehab so we can give to people, where when they choose that it's right for them to get off drugs, they can. If we treat it like a mental illness, we can help much, much more people get off drugs.
Okay.
And it's the same thing with like decriminalization of drugs.
Yeah.
If you make it so there's no stigma that it's illegal, people won't be so willing to hide it. They'll be more willing to try to find help. Because a lot of these people who are addicted to drugs don't want to be addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
There's just no way to fix the problem.
It's true, yeah. And I think if someone's got a drinking problem, they're a little more likely to be like, you know what, okay, yeah, I've been drinking a little too much.
Yeah, they have the ability to
Yeah.
go to AA.
Yeah.
They have the ability to they have these resources out there where they can say, okay, we're getting clean. This is just what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it makes it much easier if so you know how the whole heroin epidemic came to be, right?
I think.
The pharmacies, the biggest thing was OxyContin,
Yeah.
and the company had pursued this as a 12-hour pain reliever. And a lot of people, they need pain management, right?
Yeah.
They have these issues where they hurt their back and they're just in constant pain unless they're medicated. So the problem was they quoted OxyContin as this miracle drug that would last 12 hours, and it ended up being it lasted 8 hours or 10 hours. So people were consuming much, much more.
Yeah.
So people were consuming more than they were prescribed because they needed it, right? They needed it for pain management. So they continued this process. They continued it, and people were making the most out of the stuff they were getting. So they were snorting it or injecting it.
Right.
And they were finding means to do what they had to do. And
Moving it.
whatever they had to do. And continued like that. And then Purdue Pharma, which is the company that came out with this, they were giving doctors rewards for selling more and more of it, increasing prescriptions, which is
That's so fucked up.
which is dirty. It's
That's
very,
so
very
fucked up.
dirty. So eventually, this was happening for 15 years, and there was doctors that would just these back alley doctors that you could go up to them and they would just write a script for you.
Yeah.
That's how they made their money.
Right.
And in 2006, I believe, the FDA required that they had to change the formula. I'm not sure if it was the FDA or if it was there was a lawsuit against them.
Okay.
But whatever it was, they had to change their formula where it was snort proof and injection proof. So they changed it so you had to pop it, which really lowered the level of strength it was able to have. You couldn't get the same.
Lowered the abuse too, I'm sure.
Yeah, lowered the ability to abuse it.
Yeah.
So all these people that can't take the drug and can't meet their tolerances anymore, can't do the things they need to do, they had to turn to heroin. Which is why over the past 10 years we've had this ridiculous spike in heroin use.
Yeah.
Because heroin was always there. It's been there since they say opium came over on the Mayflower.
Yeah.
So
you can blame my family for that one.
so it's always been here. It's not like it's and there's always been that small group that just they're partiers and they eventually get to that point where they're doing heroin. And you're never going to be able to get rid of that.
No.
But it's the people that had to do it, right? The 40-year-old construction worker.
Yeah, that can't catch a break because his pills aren't working enough.
Yeah.
So
He has to turn to something else so he can work.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's the cruel reality of it. Is that the reason it got so big is because instead of being in that marginal group that has always done it, the jazz musicians and everything like that whole thing. The reason it got so bad is because normal people were taking it.
Yeah.
And that's why it became such an epidemic. Not to mention the purity of the stuff coming in just got ramped up. And now they're mixing it with synthetics like fentanyl.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's terrible.
And it's just a terrible situation to be in because a lot of these people wouldn't be in the situation they're in if it wasn't for the unfortunate products that were put out.
Right.
And the pharmaceutical companies pushing against more or healthier ways to manage their pain, like marijuana and stuff like that. Because it was these pharmaceutical companies lobbying against these people to keep people hooked on drugs like fucking on opium and all this other stuff. And it's these pill companies that are continuing to do that to keep people hooked on Xanax and Adderall and everything else. Because
fuck Xanax.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dude,
fuck Xanax. That shit is just as bad.
It's worse than opium. The crazy thing is, so a rehab center will take you in if you're addicted to heroin. Because the likelihood of you dying is much lower because there's ways to ease you down. They give you fentanyl just to give you enough so your body is just able to eventually kick it, right?
Right, yeah. They wean you off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're addicted to Xanax or any of these, any of the benzos, a rehab will not take you because your likelihood of dying if you quit cold turkey is so high.
Oh,
yeah.
I never knew that. So they'll turn people away for that?
They'll turn people away.
The risk is too high?
Exactly.
Man, that's fucked up.
Because the risk of people dying is so high. That's how dangerous this shit is. And the problem is when it's looked at in the light that it is, oh, it's this fun party drug. Oh, well, this, oh, that. I mean, there's a lot of people that use it to the best of its ability, right?
Yeah.
That, oh, I fucking have this crazy anxiety when I'm flying, right?
Yeah.
And I need this. It's when it gets abused or gets mixed with stuff. People don't realize how dangerous Xanax and alcohol are.
Yeah, I know.
That it will depress your breathing to the point where you die.
Well, I think people know now. I mean,
I think
in this area.
I think it's starting to get known, but still, the way it's talked about and the way it's used, people don't think much of it. They think it's just this. They look at it like a fucking Adderall or something else like that.
It's just a downer.
Yeah.
It's just it gets you a little drunk, kind of,
Yeah.
Lets you loosen up.
Yeah, people don't realize the dangers associated with a lot of these things, especially when people are doing drugs when they're still in high school.
I know.
The level of education you have on the negative effects of this stuff is just horrific.
I'm trying to think back to like high school health class,
and
I don't think we talked about any of that shit.
No, they only talked about drugs from a previous time period.
Yeah.
They never talked about what was coming up.
I think they touched on cocaine, they touched on heroin, they hammered it down about pot.
Yeah.
And then, probably just mentioned, also don't abuse prescription drugs.
Yeah, like they looped them all into this one big thing and they never explained, this is what this does, this is what that does. And
it was just a slide and then they were all right, now we're going to talk about pussy next.
It's like instead of saying just say no, just say no, just say no, where they literally push the idea of just abstain from sex. Yeah. And don't do drugs. They never educated you on what the ill effects were.
Right.
They never explained to you how to have a healthy relationship or how to have safe sex or what the issues are with this drug and this drug or if you combine this drug and this drug, you will die.
Exactly.
They never explain that to you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the education should go in trying to prevent anybody from harming themselves.
Right. Prevent abuse.
Prevent the abuse and prevent the bad behavior, because no matter what, I mean, if you look at the statistics, like, everybody tries a drug. Like, a very large large group
yeah.
of people
Yeah.
try stuff, right? They experiment,
Yeah.
especially in that
Totally.
time period.
Yeah.
So educating people on how to be safe with it and how to avoid bad addictions and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, you can avoid a lot of these big issues.
I mean, look at Europe and drinking. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like Italy, I think it's like, I don't know, 16, 17, 18, you're allowed to drink or something.
Yeah, but you can't drive until you're 21.
Right.
You're learning how to control this behavior
Yeah.
until they just, oh, yeah, go do it and drive
Exactly.
on.
It's not like you're driving this whole time, because in America, it's like, don't ever drink, period, until you're 21. Then it's okay to get shit-faced.
Yeah.
And then that's what people do. But they
Yeah.
get shit-faced in high school, and then they don't understand. Then they get 21, and then they get really shit-faced. And it's
Yeah,
just
like constantly.
yeah, it's like if you just kind of gradually introduce something to someone.
Yeah, and you just introduce them like,
Yeah.
this is a safe way to consume alcohol. This is a safe way to, this is a healthy way to,
Yeah.
because there's nothing wrong with having a drink once in a while or having a
No.
good time.
Not at all. You can take too much of anything.
Yeah.
You can take too much water.
Yeah.
You can drown yourself by drinking too much
You
water.
can literally thin your blood to a point where you're
Yeah.
not getting enough oxygen to your brain, you die.
You die.
Exactly.
But like no one's abusing water.
No. it's you got to educate people on what healthy is. Instead of saying, "Oh, alcohol is bad," say, "Alcohol is bad if you're drinking every day. Alcohol is bad if you're drinking many days a week,
Yeah.
or if you're having very, very large amounts of alcohol on a very
Binge
regular basis."
drinking, Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's another thing to say. Oh, it's is it unhealthy to have? So let's say somebody has a scotch on the rocks and a cigar in the evening. That's how they relax.
Right.
Is there anything wrong with that?
Not at all.
No.
I mean, cigar.
I mean, if they're just like, if they're just puffing a cigar, not inhaling it, but just
Right. You can still get mouth cancer that way.
yeah.
But
it's
I know what you're saying, and I agree with you.
it's not like he's smoking 2 packs a day.
Yeah.
He has a nice cigar. And
Yeah. Odds are, if
good
you
scotch.
have a cigar, you're not gonna get mouth cancer.
And he exercises and everything like that. Then who's to say that he's doing anything wrong? He's just he found something that helps him relax and.
Yeah. I think that's another thing too. Like physical education is just fucked.
How so?
I don't know. They focus so much on like you got to work out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna be fat and ugly, and you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's what I got from high school.
Mm-hmm.
But I never worked out ever, and like I'm in pretty good shape. That's just my body type. You know,
that
like,
and you're a
I got-
musician. Like
yeah, I got
when
lucky
you're playing
that way.
set, you're really working.
Definitely, especially being a drummer.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
like,
just recently, like now that I started getting a little older, I decided I wanted to put on a little more weight.
yeah,
You know, I kind of wanted to beef up a little bit. But like I started doing yoga, and I started, just doing like body weight exercises, and I realized like I feel good. It's not just like I'm trying to attain that perfect body.
no, it's the mental thing.
It's the mental thing. You feel so much better when you're not stagnant.
Yeah.
Just sitting around on your ass all day.
It's like there's a lot of research going on behind exercise and stuff like that, and especially when I was in the hospital. I mean, I've always been the kind of a very active kid, and
Yeah, sure.
exercising and playing sports and everything like that. But the biggest way to the biggest thing you can do to help your depression is to exercise. They say that's the biggest difference maker is exercise.
That's interesting.
Just because the endorphins you get and everything like
Yeah.
that, it really changes your mindset. So, I mean, I've always been the kind of person, but the thing they lack to do in physical education is they lack to tell you that there's so many ways to fulfill your needs for exercise.
Yeah.
Not everybody has to be a runner. Not everybody has to be a weightlifter.
And that's all they ever,
And
running for 30 minutes a day. It's like,
and
not
they,
everybody can do that.
And they push these certain things on you. It's not even that they can't do it. They don't find it fun, right?
That's what I mean. Like, it's
Yeah.
not for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, there's so many avenues with just exercise
Yeah.
that, okay, I like drumming.
Yeah.
That's a great form of exercise.
It is, man.
like honestly, like musicians, like just the whole thing with that, like that's an exercise on its own.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's finding something that works for you. some people might like yoga because of the mental aspect. You're able to get in your mind and you're able to figure out different things about yourself or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But there's so many different avenues you can go down. It might be somebody likes playing pickup basketball and they do that a couple times a week.
That too. Yeah, it's playing a game.
It's just it's finding something that works for you. Everybody says, "Oh, I need to do this or that or that or that." You find whatever works for you, and I think that's and that's the same way it is for life. It's the same thing.
Agreed.
That's the same way it is for careers, and it's the same thing for health and in the way you eat and your diet and stuff like that.
Yeah, diet's super important too.
But it's like everything you can do. Nothing you do is wrong. Everybody's unique and they have their own way of doing everything.
Right, yeah.
Somebody who's does yoga 5 days a week and is very in tune with their body and very flexible. What's the difference between that person and somebody who has bulging muscles?
Exactly, yeah.
They just found the avenue that works for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me. I mean, people get dead set in these ideas that it's either this or it's that. And they don't realize that life is a giant gray area. And every piece of life is a giant gray area.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me for that.
They try to, and that's, I blame solely the education system on that because it's so cookie cutter, and they try to fit, no matter what shape you are, you could be a star, you could be a hexagon, a triangle. They try to fit you in that circular hole.
Yeah, I think you got to blame the educational system, but you also got to thank them. Because if you look at, people talk about, we have the lower educational standards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's because we allow much more variety in our schools.
Yeah,
if you were to go to like one of these, like if you go to a Korean school, like a South Korean school, and you look at what their educational system is, it's you achieve and that's it.
Yeah.
You have this dead track and that's it.
Right.
Most of the countries don't have manufacturing classes or graphics communication classes. They don't have the wide variety of stuff, and I feel like that's what has allowed the United States, for an example, to be able to be so prosperous.
Yeah, I think it helps with creativity a lot.
Absolutely.
Because, I think it's something that maybe we could do a little better at.
And there's always going to be room for improvement, but you also got to look at what we have and appreciate it for what it is.
We're doing well because we have these options, like what we were just talking about with the machining and like the graphic design. A lot of high schools don't even have the kind of...
Yeah, even just local high schools don't have that opportunity or that option.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, it's good. Absolutely. But schools just don't allow the option, and I feel like the beauty in life is being able to do anything and be called and say that your life had meaning, your life had purpose.
Right. Yeah.
That people get so dead set on academics, for instance, or they get dead set on financials, that they forget to realize that there's a bigger picture to it.
Yeah.
That success can be just about anything other than sitting in your house and doing nothing.
Right, yeah.
That life should be something of inspiration, that instead of saying life is just...
you wake up, you go to work, you fuck your wife, you go to bed.
Exactly. You go to school, you get a degree, you get a job, you work, you have kids, you retire, and that's it.
Right, yeah.
There's a bigger meaning to that, and that everybody has a unique story and a unique way of looking at the world.
Yeah, and it's just conversation.
Absolutely, and that's why I did the podcast, because the more people that listen to ideas like this, that listen to these conversations, the more minds you could say, oh fuck. Because the whole reason that I have the open minds that I do, I listen to a lot of podcasts, I read a lot, and I really pursued the idea. So why not pass that information on? Because if you have something to say, why not say it?
Yeah, that's the freedom of where we live.
That's what I love about this time right now.
Yeah.
That the people that have their voices out there, you don't need a lot of money to do it.
No, you don't. It
costs, $3 a month to have a blog. To have a domain for your blog. Like YouTube, it's free to post stuff on YouTube. We're in a crazy time right now where your voice can be heard.
It's just what you said. As long as the whole net neutrality thing doesn't go down the drain.
Oh, it fucking better. It better.
Yeah.
It better fucking if they get rid of the fucking freedom of internet, the world will be fucked. The world will be fucked beyond belief, and that will be the government overstepping, and that'll be the start of a fucking big revolution of people fucking saying fuck this bullshit.
Exactly, dude. And for people, because people only think, oh, you know, so I'm gonna have to pay a couple extra dollars on my bill to use Facebook or something.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but that doesn't piss some people off. But what pisses me off is that makes things so much harder for people like me and people like you.
Exactly.
And Joe Schmo with his guitar.
Exactly.
Trying to make it. You know what I mean? Like, the internet is the avenue we have.
The avenue is the freedom to be able to do whatever you want.
Yeah. The way to create, the way to get your name out there. If we did not have Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all these stupid... no one would know who the fuck we were.
Yeah. I mean, like, you would never have that freedom to express yourself.
Exactly.
The freedom to express yourself and put it out there for just about nothing.
Yeah.
It's about just being able to put an idea out there.
Yeah.
It's like these YouTubers, they literally just they start with their cell phone and just start doing shit.
Yeah.
And some of them get a following, some of them don't.
Yeah.
But they're just saying, fuck it, let's go for it, right?
Exactly, dude. When we went on our first tour, I started doing this Alabaster update thing. And
I remember that.
Yeah, it was like a everyday, pretty much.
Yeah,
while we were on tour.
but I remember I kind of got excited to watch it.
Yeah, it was literally me doing this on my cell phone.
Yeah, but
and
it gave you a perspective in your life and just seeing what was going on.
and people dug it, and it was getting a bunch of likes, and people were sharing it, and people were requesting it after we got back from tour.
Yeah.
So now we do one every week, but it was like I just decided to turn my phone on, and
and you're just out of the blue, you're just doing it.
Yeah, and it's helped us. I mean, people have been like, "Oh yeah, I saw you had like a video," and I was like, "Yeah,
yeah." But like social media allows everybody the opportunity to get free media, to get free attention.
Yeah.
And like that's amazing. Like it's really giving a lot of like SoundCloud, for instance, is giving is giving so many people the opportunity to just put shit out for free.
So many people have made it because of SoundCloud.
Exactly. Stuff that would never be considered from the main studios.
Yeah.
And now the control's getting put in the hands of the artists.
Think about even Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I mean, he got found by fucking whoever that was, Drake or Jay-Z or something.
Yeah,
but it was like a YouTube video of him playing and singing on the street or something.
Yeah.
Like, that never would have happened if the internet wasn't what the internet was.
Exactly. And like now that you're putting the because for the longest time people were saying, "Oh, the music industry's going to die because everything was getting put out for free."
Right.
But in essence, it's eliminated the middleman.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's gotten the
music industry might die.
It's killing the music industry.
Not music. And I'm happy about that. I'm all on board.
Cuz everybody has the opportunity to just okay, I'm gonna go for this. And if people dig it, they'll dig it and they'll listen to it.
Exactly.
And and you don't have to sell albums anymore.
Yeah, you really don't. It's traditional and a lot of bands do, but you really don't. Pop stars don't release albums, they release singles.
Yeah.
You know?
And what is it? But like the rap scene, most of these artists, unless they're like the top in the top echelon where everybody knows them.
Yeah.
They put all their music out for free.
Yeah.
Because they would rather have the following and be able to fill up tours than try to sell a bunch of albums.
And honestly, that's even with like the old cats like Foghat, you know, all these guys that are actually still playing out and still touring and shit.
Yeah.
The only way they ever make their money is by playing live shows and selling merchandise.
Exactly.
That's it.
But
if you happen to have a song with royalties, you know, like fucking, well, I won't use Zeppelin, but, you know, what is that song?
What song? What are you thinking of?
Well, I don't know. I'll just use a rapper, for instance, like Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah,
you know I mean, like, he's got mad money from that.
Yeah, but like,
you know?
Exactly. But it's about making something that people want to listen to and that people will go the extra mile to support you.
Exactly. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, like people will make a lot of these people. I mean, I feel like the times are going to continue to change, and the radio is going to have less and less influence because
Yeah.
People
Radio's kind of dying.
It really is, which
I'm sad about it because, like, I grew up from, like, age 2 to the age, like, 17 listening to the radio every single night.
Yeah, but...
so it's kind of sad, but...
It's kind of sad, but it's a changing of the time.
Yeah.
Where, it's like the same thing with going from records to 8-track and...
Yeah.
And cassette to DVD to CDs and then to...
digital.
Then
and now
to
vinyl's
iTunes.
Coming back.
I know vinyl's coming back and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a changing of the time.
Maybe in like 20 years, radio will become popular again.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it all depends, but when you get rid of radio and people are... I hear this a lot with comedy. I'm a big comedy geek.
Totally.
And up until just recently, you had to do radio to fill up your shows. You had to go on this... You had to do Tuesday and Thursday radio. You just had to get on the radio so people knew that you were in town.
That's interesting.
But now that comedy's had this giant boom because of the podcast, there's some of the they have huge podcast followings.
Hannibal, what's his name?
Hannibal Buress.
He's got a podcast. Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I'm a big follower of Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz, and it leads me on these avenues where I hear a lot of these people that you would never hear of.
Yeah.
Like a lot of almost all the comedians I listen to, none of them are on TV. None of them have been on TV. They're completely based off the internet. Their whole following is on the internet, and they're filling up thousand people's shows.
And that's impressive.
Just off their internet presence, just because people think they're fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like that's what blows my mind. But now that we're allowed to do that, now that you can just put whatever out there, you don't need somebody backing you.
Yeah.
Opens the door to a lot of people. Opens the door infinitely to anybody who says, I want to do this.
Yeah. And if you take away the ability to do that, shit's gonna hit the fan.
Yeah, then the quote-unquote man has the power again.
Right. I just think, like, on principle, it's not right that they should be able to take away the internet like that. Like, that, to me...
No, I mean, the internet is our ultimate freedom.
Yeah.
If you take away the ability to just... have the ability to put yourself out there, have the ability to consume what you want. You take that away, and the world shrinks again.
Yeah.
The world was very, very small up until the internet. Yeah. The internet blew the world up, right?
Yeah. Seriously.
Revolutionized the way people thought.
Yeah.
Space Odyssey, 2001. You've heard of the movie, right?
Great movie.
Great movie. They could not... They predicted all these crazy things, right? Hoverboards and all this other shit.
Yeah.
And like their idea of like being able to look at a screen and you're able to see that person.
Mm-hmm.
Like crazy stuff like that. They couldn't predict the cell phone. They couldn't realize that you could have no connection.
Yeah.
And be connected. They couldn't understand the internet.
Right.
It's like even the ideas of 40 years ago now, even those ideas are small.
Yeah.
In comparison to what is possible.
Yeah. It's people still complain that we don't have flying cars.
We have the internet.
Yeah. It's way more impressive.
The internet is the craziest thing. And what people are able to do with it is just unfathomable.
Yeah.
And it makes me happy that people like you guys are able to have a Facebook page and people are able to find you, and it gives a lot of people the opportunity to say, oh shit,
yeah,
we got this.
Yeah.
And it opens the door to a lot of people. And I really enjoy that. Biggest thing that irritates me, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know.
Yeah.
That's the fucking worst.
I know.
Like, it doesn't matter how smart you are, if you know the right people.
Yeah.
You get where you want to be. That's bullshit.
That's pop music.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
All these people that are talentless. Other people write their music. They can't sing, so they auto-tune the fuck out of them.
Yeah, their whole thing is mixed and edited.
Yeah, and they are the ones that are filling stadiums and getting 6 million plays on YouTube. And it's just like, there's no passion behind that. There's not even any talent.
And that's what bugs me. It's when people do things out of passion. When people do things that they love to do and they follow them, good things are going to come out of that.
Yeah.
It's like the whole idea of instead of just worrying about money, worry about the person next to you. If you do the right thing for the person next to you, if everybody did that, if everybody helped the person that was next to them, the world would be a much better place.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, that would solve marriages, and
Yeah.
that would solve race relations. If you just treated people how you wanted to be treated, the whole world would be a different place. But people get in this mindset, oh, it's all me, me, me.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck shit up. Like in a marriage, right? There's supposed to be balance and shit like that.
Yeah. It's a give and take. You know?
Yeah, it's a give and take. Okay, the sink's full. I'm gonna do the dishes.
Yeah.
Not because, oh, that person's not gonna do it. You do it out of principle.
Right. Like, this needs to be done. I see that it needs to be done.
Like, it takes 2 minutes. Why
Yeah.
not do it?
Exactly.
It's like, oh, I walked past the dryer and the washer was off, but there was clothes in it. I'll just toss them over.
Toss them in. Yeah.
It's like the little subtleties. Oh, this person's trying to get on the elevator. I'll hold it open.
Exactly.
It's like if everybody just like not made a fucking big effort, but just were a little conscious.
Just little victories.
Yeah, like saying hello.
Yeah.
Not because you want them to acknowledge you, but because you actually care.
Yeah. Like, why is that so hard to just say hi?
Yeah. It's like, oh, good morning, how are you today? Like when you're at McDonald's, you say what you want when you should say, hello, how are you today?
Yeah.
It's like the little subtleties, that's what makes the world beautiful or not.
Right.
It's the soft skills.
Yeah. It's not always about, I don't know, we worker ants, you know, it's what
Yeah.
we become. Have you ever seen Waking Life?
No.
That's a really good film. It might still be on Netflix. I know it was on and then they took it off and it was back on for a while. There's a scene, it's all about like lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
Really cool movie. Dude goes to bed, wakes up in a dream still, and then like keeps trying to get out of the dream.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one instance where he's in a dream and he like bumps into this girl.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, sorry. And then they keep walking and then like she stops and she turns around and she's like, hey. And then like walks over to him and he's like, oh, what's wrong? She was like, I don't want to be an ant. And then he's just like, what are you talking about? And she's just like we just bumped into each other and then like pretended it never happened and just like we never exist and we never see each other.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't want that. Like, I want substance. I want to know about you.
Yeah.
Because we just had this encounter and then like just seeing that part of the movie really like kind of opened my eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, seriously, like
Absolutely.
sometimes people fall in love because someone dropped something and they picked it up for them.
Yeah, and
You
it's
know?
crazy just like out of nowhere stuff like
Yeah.
that happens.
It's just like,
And like people forget the how powerful just an individual can be.
yeah,
How much
impact.
how much impact you can have if you really use it to your full potential.
Yeah.
There's this great quote I really love this quote. Let me pull it up real quick. It's what is it? Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. You playing small does not serve the world.
Wow. I like, who said that?
I can't remember. That is... Oh, that's Helen Keller.
Helen
No.
Keller? What?
Never mind. I don't know who that is.
That doesn't
actually.
make sense.
No, it doesn't. I don't know who that's by.
I got this great quote by Helen Keller.
Marianne Williamson. Never heard of her.
Okay, and maybe she's a poet or something.
Yeah.
But see, just one person's words made an impact on you.
Yeah. We ask ourselves, who am I? Who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, or fabulous? Actually, we are not to be. We are children of God. You playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
I dig that.
I just think that's so powerful.
Yeah.
Just raise yourself. If you raise yourself to be the person that you aspire to be, instead of shrinking to try to fit into a mold, you'll inspire other people to do the same.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the whole reason why I do what I do. That's the reason why I say, oh, I'm going to do the podcast, and maybe that's why I'm going to sit there and do the homework to do well in my classes, because it's about opening the door for the next person, right?
Exactly, yeah.
It's about creating something for the person behind you. I mean, it's like the saying goes, leave it better than you found it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to leave this, whatever this is, trying to leave it better for the last person. I mean, I was in special ed all through elementary school and middle school.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go be a teacher. Most people would say I might get through high school and that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
And I'm opening the avenue for that next person who says, "Oh shit, I can go as far as I can."
Yeah. Totally,
I'm not predisposed to anything.
Yeah.
My opportunities are endless, no matter where I'm put in this world.
I agree.
And I think too many people think, "Oh, I'm not a genius. I'll never have a brilliant idea."
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Or I'm not talented. I'll never be able to be I'll never be able to be a great musician.
Nirvana. That's all I gotta say.
But like, it's crazy. Like, if you really want to do something, you have to go for it.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
Yeah.
You just have to follow your passion and go for it. Even if you were not to succeed, you tried, right?
But then it goes back to what's your definition of success. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've heard it a lot, so I don't know if I can necessarily accredit it to this person, but something that our manager said a lot. It's like, if you're playing in a bar and there's one person, and that one person really fucking digs your music, you just got one more fan.
Yeah.
Like, it was worth it.
It's about understanding the little things, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, when people say, "Oh, I don't want to do that, it's below me," nothing's below you.
No, there is nothing. And if you do something that you think is below you, it makes you humble.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are afraid to volunteer for things because they're like, "Oh, well, I'm okay, so I don't need to do that." It's like the reason why you are okay is why you should volunteer. You know what I mean?
If you have that extra time.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's about helping the person next to you.
Exactly.
And however that is, if it's, I'm gonna work in services for people, like, let's say you're a psychiatrist because you want to help people, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, or if, let's say you're this businessman, but you want to make your employees the happiest people they can be, right? You want to give them every opportunity that you can.
Mm.
That's making a difference, right? It's about helping the people that you can impact.
Right.
It's about
as small or as wide as that can be.
Exactly. And no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Let's say no matter who I am, if that's the mindset I have is, I'm trying to do the best for the people around me, the world will be a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Too many people get this idea that they gotta take advantage of people. Right now I'm reading a book on figuring out your why, right?
Okay.
Understanding your why. And right now I'm reading this chapter. It's and he's talking about how businesses, instead of trying to focus on creating loyalty, because there's two ways to create loyalty to something or get people to buy something.
Okay.
You can do it through putting out a good product and making people happy and doing the things you need to do, or you can do it out of manipulation, like having sales and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
But the people who are loyal, they will always go back to you because they know what they're getting.
Regardless of the sale.
Regardless of the price, even if they're not getting as good of a deal.
Right, yeah.
And that's kind of how it is with everything, right? If you own a business, you can either get people to work for you through manipulation, where you say, "Oh, I'm giving you this amount of money. Oh, I'm holding your job up over your head."
Right, yeah.
And stuff like that, when in actuality you should be doing everything you can to inspire these people
Yeah.
to do their best and surround your company with the best people possible.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel it should be with just who your friends are.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be with friends, oh, this person throws crazy parties, or this person, whatever it is. You should surround yourself with people who are like-minded, who inspire you.
Yeah. And I mean, I think if someone is a party animal,
yeah,
you know, it's like there is a difference between like responsibly partying.
Yeah, I mean,
just being a dumb high schooler,
absolutely.
You know, because I know a lot of people that get down.
Oh,
if
for
you
sure,
know what
for
I
sure.
mean. But like, they're super, you know, they're cool people. And
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's not hard to not be an asshole.
Yeah.
And people just don't get that.
Yeah, just take the extra step to not be a dick.
Yeah. Like, your own quality of life will be better, and it'll affect the people around you, and they will realize that, and they'll be like...
And then they'll make your life better.
Yeah, they'll be like, he's not an asshole, I'm not going to be an asshole to him.
It's like, you gotta surround yourself with people that are trying to aspire to be something.
Yeah.
You only aspire to be what the people around you aspire to be.
Yeah.
If you were all trying to make the world a great place and trying to put your words out there, then you'll only do better with that.
And that's why I think it's a good thing also to hang out with other people that are like pursuing something.
Exactly, very passionate people.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
Right, it could be something totally not what you're doing, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I hang out with a lot of different musicians because all of us we're all trying to do this.
Yeah, you're passionate about it.
If I am in a functioning band, we're touring, you know, we're playing out a bunch, and I'm trying to make it, but I'm over here back in McHenry, hanging out with a bunch of people that aren't doing anything.
Yeah.
Sitting on the couch getting high.
The energy drainers.
It saps it from you, and you're gonna sit down and get high with them and be like, oh man. Like,
yeah, why am I even doing this?
Yeah, this is great. No, like, you gotta throw those people out. Fuck those people.
Yeah, it's like you can't be around the people that are staying up all night and not getting up for work in the morning.
Right. Like, you need to go headstrong into whatever it is that you need to go into.
Yeah. Like, if you have to surround yourself with people that are going to help you get to where you want to be, and in the same time, you're helping them get to where they want to be.
Exactly. Help each other, like you're saying.
Exactly. And if you surround yourself with people that are passionate and are doing the things that you acknowledge and you think are awesome, how can that go badly?
Yeah.
You're only putting yourself in a good opportunity, a good spot.
Even from kind of a selfish point of view, like, if you're hanging out with other people that are pursuing what they're doing, like, you can do things with each other, you know what I mean? Like, you can collaborate. The same reason, like, oh, you're doing a podcast? That's awesome. I'd love to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a musician? I'd love for you to be on my podcast.
Yeah, it's like it's the cross-pollination. It's everybody helping each other. Like, it's the whole thing, like, I had Zach on here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, shout out all your shit. Fucking get all your social media and everything out there.
Yeah.
And, like, it kind of works both ways. Like, my audience is able to kind of follow him, and his audience is kind of able to follow me, and we introduce people that we like to our following, or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Especially with this stuff. I mean, I have, like no following at all.
Sure, you're new, you're fresh.
Exactly, but if I continue to do it, it'll grow.
Yeah.
It naturally, organically, it'll grow.
Yeah. I hope everybody listening checks out my band, and I hope everybody watching checks you out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I hope right now that we can kind of...
Absolutely.
You know,
I mean, it's all about supporting the people around you.
Yeah.
And this is a great way to do it. I mean, most people would say, why would you shout out that person, right? Like, let's say you have a very good podcast and you have me on, and you say, oh, follow this dude. Oh, why are you doing that? It's bigger than, oh, I'm trying to keep my audience stuck to me.
No,
I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to create something.
Like, oh, if you like Led Zeppelin, maybe you would like Alabaster.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like the Joe Rogan Experience, maybe you would like the Metamorphosis podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like,
it's the whole thing, like growing it. It's like a band. This is an idea. So you'll have a horrible opener, right? Some shithead that just
been there.
And then you get to that point where the main act comes on, and it's like, it magnifies how great they are, right? But if they bring a band like, what is it? Who opened it? Fuck. It's like back in the 70s, who is it? Who's the one real right-wing dude that used to be a fucking crazy guitarist?
Ted Nugent?
Ted Nugent.
Yeah, the Nuge.
So, back in the 70s, Ted Nugent was headlining, and who is it? Lynyrd Skynyrd was opening for them. And this was...
Oh, that's fucked up.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So right when when Lynyrd Skynyrd, they fucking crashed the plane and fucking a bunch of people died.
Yeah.
Right at that point, they were about to switch it, put Ted Nugent second, or have Ted Nugent open, and then Lynyrd Skynyrd close his show.
Yeah.
But like, at that point, it was about having a killer fucking show.
Yeah.
And that's all it was about.
Yeah.
All it was about. Like, it's when people are taking these people. Joe Rogan has a big thing with, like, he brings killers on the road with him. Because he just wants to have a fucking awesome show.
Yeah.
It's like, when you're trying to do that, good things happen.
Yeah.
It's when you're trying to have this, when you're trying to magnify yourself and you're trying to be very selfish with it.
Yeah.
What's the point in that?
Well, exactly, yeah. You want people not to be like, oh man, these first two bands are awful, when is the main act? Because a lot of times, if the first two bands, or the first band, aren't that good, people walk out.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't care, I don't want to listen to this.
Yeah, you want them to have a great time.
Yeah. So,
Like,
you try to bring a band that's just as awesome as you.
Just not as...
Maybe even more awesome sometimes.
Yeah, they just might not have been as noticed yet.
Yeah.
They're still growing. But, like, that's the whole thing. Like, everybody helps each other next to them. It'll only help everybody.
There have been times where, like, a band opened for us, and we definitely should have opened for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you were still appreciative of the opportunity.
Exactly. We were like, thank you for warming up the stage.
Yeah. They're like, that's going to be a motherfucker to follow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks you for challenging us.
Exactly. And that's how it is, yeah.
Because then they get better.
Right. Yeah.
Because then they grow. Because they say, we got to fucking play our asses off.
Exactly. Like, damn, that first band is really good. Let's really bring it down tonight.
Yeah, like we got to
What all the audience sees is, holy shit, that first band was badass.
And they're hyped.
Oh,
they're ready for this
band's
shit.
Fucking great too.
Yeah.
Even though the bands are like, fuck, we gotta be better. Like.
Yeah, even though what happened in their mind is completely different from what the audience knows.
Exactly. No one ever knows.
But like, it's about using it's using your ability to make the right decision and do the right thing, right? Do the right thing is so important.
Yeah.
Where when you look past the money, if everybody can make the amount of money they need to make. We live in America. If you can't fucking get by, you're retarded. like if you can't manage to get by, there's something fucking wrong.
I know, and so many people are gonna hate on that statement, but it's fucking true.
Like, honestly, you live in America. If you can't figure out a way to be happy and make enough money to get by,
you're doing something wrong.
You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
There's every opportunity out there. And not to mention, if you make over I think it's like $33,000 a year, you're a 1%er in the world. You live in a country where on average you're a 1%er in the world.
That's awesome.
If you can't figure it out, you're a fucking idiot. And people can say whatever they want about that. If you cannot figure out how to... You live in America.
That's a good way to put it, dude. I've never
but like,
thought of that.
That's how crazy it is. If you live in goddamn America.
You are a 1%er.
We have it so good we're worrying about transgender issues. That's how good we have it.
Right, yeah.
Like, we need something to argue about. Life is so damn good, and people need something to complain about.
So they complain about... Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we're going to switch genders. We got something right here if that's what's going on. We're not worried about people fucking starving.
Yeah.
We're not worried about women's rights. I mean, to a point, but like...
Well, that's...
But like, okay, if you look at it...
something else.
If you look at where we're at in society, we're so ahead of the game. Guess what?
Yeah, totally.
Who dominates the Women's Olympics? The Americans. You know why? Because women have fucking rights.
Yeah. Right.
Women can wear what the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to go suck 10,000 dicks, you can. and we don't fucking... We say that's awesome, right?
Right, yeah.
You're a porn star. You're a bad motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
Like, we give everybody the ability to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And we don't tell people they can or can't do anything. It's not like, oh, women can't be doctors. They can't. Hey, Dad.
What are you up to?
I'm doing a podcast, then I'm coming over.
What?
Then I'm coming over.
Ryan's?
Yeah.
Bye now. Start up. Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Hey, Pooch.
You remember Jackson, right? He went in the skills show.
USA.
Oh, yeah.
Had short hair back then. Good times.
Nice. Where are you going to school?
I'm not right now. Just working. So, I'm a carpet cleaner.
Carpet or carb?
Carpet.
Oh, carpet?
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
It's pretty good money.
Yeah.
So, it's not super difficult work. So,
No. It's not a career, but it'll get you by.
yeah, that's what I'm looking for right now. Hey, buddy.
You do the graphics, right?
Yeah. Yeah, screen printing.
It's hard to find good graphics, guys. I should
Yeah.
say artists in graphics.
Yeah, I mean, there's
There's point and click people,
Yeah,
but they don't know how to blend it.
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy nowadays how much having your own media goes into stuff. It's like being able to create your own way to market yourself is so much more important. It's not like you can just get radio ads or TV ads and be successful. It's the other stuff too.
So what are you podcasting?
Just what's going on in society today, stuff like
Talking about
that.
life?
The Metamorphosis from when you get out of high school and
So
the,
what are you podcasting on?
I got it open on my computer.
Remember, once you put it out there, it's out there forever.
Yeah, I know. But if you got something to say, why not put it out there?
No, just remember everything that is coming off that screen is out there forever. So whatever's in the background is out there forever.
Oh, it's just an audio recording. No, I totally got you, and it's not like my name's attached to it. It's completely...
Why is it only audio?
Huh? Because that's how I like it.
Oh.
It's simpler, easier to put out.
Yeah, but just remember, you're going for a job. All that shit's out there.
And my name's not attached to it. It's all anonymous.
Oh, yeah, but still.
I know.
Nowadays, all that shit comes back to haunt you.
Yeah, but it's also another thing to add to a portfolio as well. All depends on what you're putting out there.
Wow.
If you're putting out you doing dumb shit, yeah, that's not going to look good. But if,
Either and opinions and everything else.
yeah, of course, but there's a lot more to go to it than just
People are
say.
losing jobs because of Facebook and Snapchat and all that.
People also have jobs because of Facebook and Snapchat, because that's how they get their word out there. I mean, it goes both ways.
Well, if you're doing Facebook,
Well,
and
yeah,
that's the industry you're in, yeah.
yeah, or
But-
even if that's how you're advertising yourself, or that's how you're getting your name out there. I mean, it goes both ways.
Did you feed them?
Huh? No.
Yeah, tomorrow
Okay. What do you have done now?
we pulled the big wire.
Oh, you did? Okay. What do you got tomorrow? Just hooking everything up?
Oh. We gotta trim a bunch of trees. Gotta,
What for?
because they have a lift.
What do you mean?
I have a 40-foot boom.
Oh, you do? Is that how you're pulling it through?
Yeah, that's how I got up the top of the pole and was able to pull all the wires.
Oh, okay.
No, I got a 40-foot boom over there. We got to cut a bunch of trees, clean up a bunch of stuff, fix the light poles in front,
Yeah.
fix why the other light isn't. We'll flip the light around the other side or put
Yeah.
a different light up.
Okay.
Anyways, get all that stuff done.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got to run that back at noon, and then we can work on the chicken coop. Because everything's freezing next week, so we got to get some posts in the ground.
Yeah, the weather's good right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got some more stuff. I got five interior doors
For what?
covering the wall.
That's what you're gonna use?
Doesn't matter. We just got to cover it to keep the wind out.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I thought you were just gonna use plastic. Hold the heat in.
Well, plastic and put some wood over it.
Yeah, okay.
But if I got the doors, I got the pegboard, we'll just, all it is to cover up to make it solid, and then all that stuff can be torn out and burned later.
Yeah. She's a funny one.
Yeah. Right, come on, Daisy. Come on, you wanna eat? Come on.
Yeah. Oh, it's the opinion of a different generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they see out of it.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, that's the completely flip side of it. And you gotta understand that.
I think, that was kind of appropriate, actually.
Actually, it was, yeah. But, I mean, it's true. I mean, what's the difference between, is there really a difference between working hard and, like, doing a job and putting a lot of time into stuff like this?
Yeah.
It's all about what you're doing to put it out there and put out positivity. Nobody's going to slay you for putting out a video saying how much, talking about the world, right? Or you helping somebody.
Right, yeah.
But somebody will slay you if you're talking how rape is good. Or,
Sure.
Or anything like that, or misogyny is okay. Where it has a flip side to it, which that's why I really like this medium.
Yeah.
That and it's just protecting your identity. Don't just put yourself out there to be out there. Don't just say these ridiculous things to say these ridiculous things. Like It's like with Snapchat, and you look at these stories, and it's like, oh, everybody's drinking and all this other stuff. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, how dumb can you be?
Yeah.
Like, even if it doesn't, why do you want that reputation?
Yeah.
It's like the people who go out in front of their house and just smoke because they can.
Yeah.
People who just
smoke weed.
Just like cigarettes, or they're drinking on their patio or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to think, what are other people like? When a kid sees that, the neighboring kid across the street, when he sees that, he assumes it's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Where what it should be is they find that on their own. They find that evolution instead of them saying, because we don't realize our age and what's appropriate. At 13, if you see people drinking, you would think, oh yeah, I want to drink. I want to try that.
Yeah, it's a normal thing, especially with drinking, because it's drinking. Everybody drinks.
Everybody drinks.
Yeah.
You see it everywhere. It's a different thing. Where if that kid were to go on and they were to understand it, say, and not do it to, when they lose the stigma, oh, this is cool, or oh, this is this or that, and you see it in a different light.
Yeah.
You get a different appreciation for it. It's like people do things to look cool or something like that, but when you break the ego, it becomes something else. You're doing it for a different reason.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how life should be. You should break the ego, and you should be doing it for the good of all.
I agree. Yeah, ego is a life killer.
It is.
It makes life really hard, and it's nearly impossible unless you become a monk to completely dissolve it.
Yeah, to completely dissolve the ego, but
because when you're living in this kind of life,
yeah,
if you're a monk and you're in solitude, you can be egoless, but in this. In this jungle we're living in,
is that monk making a difference in society? Is the question? They're not.
They're not.
So how is that person?
They're focusing on themselves, and I'm sure their quality of life is great.
I'm sure it is, but I feel like there's a balance to it. You can never make a difference unless you're a little narcissistic.
Yeah.
Because if you don't feel that you can, if you don't feel strongly enough about yourself and what you're saying, you'll never put it out there.
Exactly. Your ego keeps you safe.
Yeah.
It's kind of like every knight needs a little bit of chainmail.
Mm-hmm.
like your ego is your chainmail. Some people
Yeah.
are walking around in a juggernaut suit. You don't need that.
No. But it's also about being sensitive and understanding
Right.
how you feel and the different layers of your own mind. Like, you have to be able to understand what's going on with the ego, but you also got to understand the other side, and even dissolving that ego to a point where you're completely uncomfortable with yourself, even for a small moment. Putting yourself in uncomfortable situations to understand how other people feel.
Right. Yeah.
Because your ego dissolves the minute you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
The minute you're put in a situation where you're not around people that you can make yourself look good around, you have to be the honest person you are. And that's what I really appreciate going through that battle with depression, because it destroyed my ego.
Yeah.
Or at least it brought me to a level where I could understand
Kept it in check.
Kept it in check, and it brought me back to a level where I could understand it.
Yeah.
Where I could understand certain emotions, certain ideas.
Yeah.
Where I broke away from the idea of like just focusing on money.
Yeah.
I was focusing on different things, and you understand different aspects of life, because life is very wholesome. There's a lot to go on with life, like the conversations and
the little things.
The little things.
Yeah.
Like I always attribute life as all it is it's a book, right? You're creating a book. Your life is a book, and each different nuance of your life is a different chapter.
Yeah.
Each different period of time is a different chapter, and
it's like the owner's manual of you.
Exactly. Yeah. It's going through a time period and understanding how you change and how you develop and how you become very robust.
Definitely.
Too many people are very simple and very stuck in this idea of, my life is all about money and working and that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas that there has to be a balance. You have to understand more than one thing about life.
There's a cat I work with named Steve, and he's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
He's also very bland, you know.
Yeah.
He works as a carpet cleaner,
Mm-hmm.
and then goes home to his wife and watches live PD. That is all he does. And then he goes to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
That's his entire life. Every now and then he goes on a camping trip.
Yeah.
But like that,
his life is very simple.
there's no substance to him, you know.
Yeah, there's no deep theory behind it. It's just him going through.
Yeah.
It's him kind of coasting through life.
Right. But you know, I started talking to him more
Yeah.
because we go out on the truck together and work jobs, and so I like to be connected with someone.
Yeah.
I can't just be like, oh, you know, your name is Carol and you're a blonde and you're my friend. It's like, no, like your name is Carol and you love poetry and you enjoy fine dining, and like that's how I, you know.
Yeah, there's a
I
deeper
need something more.
There's someone deeper behind what's on the surface.
Exactly. And so I've been trying to pull it out of Steve the entire time I've been working there.
Yeah.
Like 6 months or whatever. I've just been like there's got to be something more to this guy.
Yeah.
You know? And just recently, like, he started speaking about, like, someone else and, like, how his analysis on this person blew my mind. Because I wasn't expecting it from him.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, he's this bland guy, doesn't really see past this too much. But all of a sudden, he just, like, gave this proverbial speech.
Yeah, you understood
and I was like, holy shit, Steve, where did that come from? You know?
you understood the deeper
Yeah.
ideas he had in his head.
Everybody's got it in them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like people don't know how to show it sometimes.
Exactly. There's so much more than what meets the eye. It's like, don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
And you have to read past the first couple chapters to actually get into the book.
Right, yeah.
It's like that with everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, for most people, I don't show a lot in the beginning. When I first meet somebody, I'm kind of quiet. I don't really talk a lot. But like once I get comfortable, I can open up about anything.
Right, yeah.
And most people don't know how many layers there are to a person.
It's complex. People are really complex.
It's very complex, and sometimes there's this big armor around somebody, and you have to really dig and dig and dig to get them to open up.
Yeah.
And I just think having conversations like this, even if somebody hears it and never passes it on, it still changing somebody's.
It impacted that one person that heard it.
Even if one person is impacted.
That one person in the bar that heard the song.
Yeah,
you know?
or the one person that was sitting in the room that listens to this that one time.
Yeah.
If this impacts one person, I'd say it's successful.
I agree.
Like, that's all I ask for is even if I just make one, if I change one life, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Even if I change one person's day, that's it.
Better than
Exactly. Like, that was the whole reason I went into teaching. Is because I'll be able to impact many lives. I'll be able to change people's ideas of what they can do to be successful. I can put people in better situations than what otherwise they could have been, and I think that's really important. And doing that as much as you can, right? Trying to help people have positive perspectives and have a positive movement in life will only help people.
Yeah.
Because I was helped myself in that situation. Manchester changed my life significantly.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you really
I'm glad that went. You had that metamorphosis.
Exactly, and it's that metamorphosis about making a change, right? It's
Yeah.
about making a difference and changing the mindset. Because my life didn't change all that much from before and after. The only thing that changed was what I perceived everything as.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the most important part, is how you perceive everything.
And in that aspect, everything changed.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Even though you might have the same routine every day, like the minute you take the glasses off and you see everything, you're like, wow.
It's like the great saying, oh, glass half full, glass half empty.
Yeah.
It's all about how you perceive the current moment. If you say, oh, I got $10 in my pocket, but I'm going to work today, some people would say, fuck, I'm broke. But other people say, I got $10 in my pocket, I'm going to work.
Yeah.
Who's better than me?
Right.
Yeah. It's about just looking at your current situation and making the most out of what you got. Because a lot of, they say, I do a lot of weird research, but they say happiness peaks at about $87,000 a year. They say people tend to get much, that's where the bell curve peaks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which $87,000 a year, I mean, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. That's weird.
But that blows a lot of people's mind. They would think, oh, it's hundreds of thousands or millions or whatever
Bill
it
Gates
is.
has got to be the happiest motherfucker,
But like, it's a little bit above the average.
Yeah.
Like the average income for American family is like $60 some $60,000 a year. So it's a little bit beyond that, right?
Yeah.
So like, if you're doing something you're passionate about, you'll probably get there, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, like it's a pretty achievable number.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not.
That's not like, oh man, I'll never be able to do that. Like, no, if you work at it, you'll do it.
Yeah, like that's not super unachievable.
Yeah.
It's not like you got to work a bazillion hours or whatever it is.
Right.
That's an achievable number. When you say that's the peak, that's where it peaks. What's going on with people that go beyond that?
Yeah.
Is it because they're doing stuff for different reasons? Is it because they're very obsessed with the outcome? It's what they're obsessed with the money? And like, I understand, like, below that, you have stresses of, oh, I need more money, right?
Right, yeah.
So it's like, is that where the pendulum stops? Is that where the balance becomes?
Yeah.
Like, that's my question. Why is it that number? Because that's interesting to me. Is it the people who achieve a little bit more, that are passionate about what they're doing and do what they're really passionate about, and maybe they're not making the most money they could, but they're making a great living.
Yeah.
They're not worried about money, and they're doing something they're passionate about.
Yeah. Totally.
I feel like that's where life has the most meaning. Is when you're not worried about what life is. When you're not worried about your means, and you're doing something you really enjoy.
I gotta say, I had a moment kind of similar to what you went through with Monty.
Yeah.
I was just super down. Like, I was never diagnosed with depression or anything, so I won't claim that I had it, but I was extremely sad. And I used to go on these walks in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
Because, like, just feeling that bitter cold helped a little bit, And I used to just kind of, like, pop in, listen to some Megadeth.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah, and just be a fucking sad sap. Just be really sad, really angry. And one time, I was walking on the street, and it was in a neighborhood kind of close to mine, and this older guy was walking around, in his parka and his gloves, and a car was coming up behind me.
Yeah.
So I kind of moved over. The car went, and he waved to the car, and I was like, oh, okay, they must be neighbors or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then another car came, and he waved to that car.
Yeah.
And another car came, and he waved to that car. And I was like, there's no way he knows all these people.
Yeah.
And then I walked by him, and he waved at me. And I was just like, like, all right, maybe he's just friendly or something.
Yeah.
Fast forward a little bit, I find out through somebody that this guy, who's like 70-something,
Yeah.
or maybe he's in his 60s, is taking care of his mentally disabled elderly father, and like just goes on walks and is super happy and like goes to the gym and works out. And this dude's like 60. And I was like, damn, like that's really sad that he's got to take care of his dad like that, but he's super happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Yeah.
Like I'm all sad because of some girl or something stupid that my mom said.
Yeah, and he's taking care of his incapacitated father.
Like his wife died and like all this shit.
And he's making he's
spreading happiness. It's not like he's got enough for himself. He's got excess happiness he's dishing out to everybody.
And he's looking at everything like it's the best he could look at it.
Yeah.
He's making the best of every moment.
So from that point on, I decided that I just wasn't gonna be sad anymore.
Yeah.
And like I've been pretty happy ever since.
Yeah, and it's like having a purpose is really important.
Yeah.
And making that purpose something that you feel good about. Like it's so important. Like stuff like this, just it's raising everybody around you. It's just amazing what you can do just with the power of your words.
Yeah.
Words are so powerful. Martin Luther King made a movement just on words.
Yeah.
I mean, words are the most powerful thing in the world. Our ability to articulate and understand all these complicated things. Words are what allowed us to do this. Us being social animals allowed us to do this. Yeah. And it's crazy. It's not like we're a crazy behemoth that destroyed, that were able to kill anything.
No, yeah.
We were social animals and we were able to learn. We were able to work as a tribe.
That's the only reason we are on top of the food chain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just because we learned.
We were able to learn and we were able to absorb different
shared
things.
Information.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what you think, how we got to the spot, or whatever it was. I mean, that's beside the fact.
Right. Yeah.
But it's about making the most of the opportunities you have. Yeah. Getting the most out of the life and finding good reasons to do the things you do. I mean, that's my perspective on the thing, and I would not have done life any different the way I did it. Going through that battle with my life for a year and a half. I wasn't even sure how long I'd be around. Yeah. But I would not give that up for any instance because the amount of perspective I have at the age I am.
You learned from it.
Exactly, and I grew exponentially from it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give that up for anything. And
no, that's cool, man.
All the experiences growing up, I've grown so much from it, and I've gained perspective that a lot of people just never get to have, or don't have until they're much, much older, and they go through stuff like that. Because majority of people who graduate high school, what have they experienced? Like just in their own self. I mean, it's so small and it pales in comparison to what goes on in the entirety of life. Life is so large and so crazy. Yeah. And just like it's insane what can be in store. Yeah. It's crazy what can happen over a lifetime.
Yeah, I know. I kind of had like a rough childhood growing up. And I wouldn't, it made me grow up fast, and I'm thankful for it. Yeah. Because I'm glad that I'm now at this age. I'm 21 and I got a pretty decent head on my shoulders. Yeah. And I'm like, I know what I'm doing.
And most people, it takes many, many years to develop that.
Yeah.
So, like, even when my dad comes in here, you say you're a carpet cleaner, he says, oh, whatever.
It's not a good career,
Yeah, but whatever it is, but... You're in a completely different circumstance.
Exactly, yeah. That's what he doesn't understand. But.
Well, a lot of people don't. I mean, my dad doesn't get why I do the podcast. It's not to try to make money or anything like that.
Right, it's passion.
I'm passionate about this kind of stuff. And
not that I'm passionate about carpet cleaning, but
no, but
it's something I got to do while I'm doing what I'm passionate at.
exactly.
Yeah.
And if music's what you're really passionate about, you'll find a way to continue to do it. And I say that about everything.
Yeah.
Sure, you're not making the money you need to do doing the music, but you have another thing that's allowing you to keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's important.
And honestly, even if I was making the money that I wanted to make at music, I'd still probably have a side gig that I was doing to just make extra dough.
Yeah, to
Because,
get...
like, if I'm living, why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
what's the point of... I hate idle time. I hate just, like, sitting around. Like, I always want to have... I always want to be doing something, right? I want to be reading or learning more or having conversations or whatever it is. Like, I'm so happy I was able to go to college because it allowed me to grow my ability to speak out on stuff. It helped me gain an opinion. One thing that they don't really give you in high school, which I mean is
really
what
don't.
they allow you to form an identity, but in school it's about having you learn these core things that everybody should know.
Yeah.
Everybody should know how to do math, how to do English, and all this other stuff. And it's after that you figure out how to have your own opinion and stuff like that. Which I think is just a maturity thing. They could add a little bit more to the high school system, but I'm still a really big fan of the high school system we live on.
Really?
I'm a very big proponent of it because it's very free form, especially the way McHenry does it, especially where it gives you a lot of opportunities to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at a high achieving school like Stevenson and stuff like that, I mean, I think they're the worst.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, everybody's got to go to college, and that mindset just kills me because there's so many opportunities and so many avenues for people to be happy with doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like if you were to get rid of the stigma on trade jobs, because there really is a stigma of somebody.
Oh yeah, the minute he just came in here. He's like, "Where are you going to school?"
Yeah.
Now, are you going to school? Where are you going to school?
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm working right now.
And my dad himself, he's not like he's got a college degree.
Right.
I mean, he went to school to get his firefighter stuff, but for the most part, he does trade jobs.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
And there's not. And
I would way rather do what I do than have a desk job.
Exactly. And even if you're making okay money, but you're doing something you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And the job that you're working is, it fits in this part of my life. It's not like, but this is the thing I'm passionate about.
Right. Yeah.
Who's to say that's wrong?
Exactly.
If you're filling your means, and you're happy, you're not doing anything wrong.
Right. Humans are not a one-piece puzzle.
No.
You know, there are multiple slots that can be filled.
You have to be able to feed yourself.
Yeah.
You have to be able to be happy. And you have to be able to have passion. I mean, you have to be able to fill your means. I feel that there's only two really main parts to life, right? The first part is, no matter what, if you cannot fill your means, you cannot do anything else.
Right.
If you can't feed yourself and put a roof over your head.
Make sure you got water, you know.
Yeah, like that's the basic part, right? You need to have your basic necessities before you can broaden it, right? To where you can follow passions and stuff like that. But once you get to that margin, right, you see that line. Anything beyond that is up to you. If you can provide your own means, then you can go on this endeavor. You can do everything else, and as long as you can feed yourself and shelter yourself and provide enough for yourself, and everything beyond that is up to you.
Yeah.
That everything else beyond that is up to... No one can judge you on beyond that.
Exactly.
It's another thing to say, this person who's taking advantage of the system, they don't care about this or that. They don't care enough to just take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Then they're just a sap on society, and I have no tolerance for stuff like that.
I hate that shit. Because now I gotta work extra.
Yeah.
To feed your ass, you know.
Yeah, instead of, if we were to take away that and give people equal opportunity to go to college, I think that's an awesome thing too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but that's another thing. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But like, it's if you're able to cover your own means, that should be the baseline, right? That's what everybody should aspire to get.
Yeah.
And everything beyond that, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Because you can get by on $35,000 a year.
Easily.
Yeah. As long as you're living within your means and you're not expecting much.
Yeah.
If,
yeah. It's just everybody's got their expectations too high, but not. You should set your expectations high, but just for the baseline, everybody's like It's like, well, no.
Everybody thinks they should be able to have a brand new car and
it's like, dude,
and all this shit.
No.
You
like,
should.
You need to be able to just live.
Yeah, just
everything else.
Yeah.
Is up to you.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Exactly, and that's an important aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's just being able to say, okay, yeah, this is, because you can get by on $35,000 a year. You're not going to live an extravagant life at all.
No, definitely not. You got to spend your money wisely.
You got to be wise.
Yeah.
But beyond that, you got to pick and choose what's important to you.
Yeah.
Because if you say, because some people, they just like the status of things, right?
Yeah.
And there's other people that say, oh, I want a piece of property because this is the stuff I really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Because I want to have this big farm because that's what I really want to do, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or I want to have this car because I think these things are cool as shit.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever you aspire to get to, right? That's up to you. You have to figure out what's important to you. Some people, if I make $100,000 a year, I'm never gonna own a big house. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the point in spending your money in that way.
Yeah.
That's not where my values are.
Right. Yeah.
And it all depends on what person you are. If you want to have a family, yeah, you got to raise the bar a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
Let's say
you're expecting to have a wife and 2 kids.
If your goal is to have a nice family and be able to and be able to be there for your kids and be able to send your kids to college if they choose to do that, that's a level you're aspiring to get to.
Yeah.
That's a goal. I mean that's a goal right there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be anything super super out there, right?
Right.
It doesn't have to be, oh, I want to have this band or whatever, or I want to be a motivational speaker or whatever it is. It can be simple. It doesn't have.
I just want to paint.
Yeah, I just want to have. I just want to have enough time to be able to.
Yeah.
To do the stuff I want to be able to do.
Sit down and read.
And it's understanding what level you really want to get to instead of saying, oh, I want to make $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Don't say this is what I want. Don't say what. Say why.
Right. Yeah.
What's your why? This is why I was really interested in this book I'm reading.
Yeah. What book, by the way?
I'll send you the PDF if you want. It's called Start With Why.
Okay.
It's by I'm really into like motivational speakers and stuff like that as much as testosterone fueled as that sounds. But
Simon Sinek.
yeah.
Cool.
I'll send you the PDF.
Alright, cool.
But like it's being able to take out the aspects of life that you want.
Yeah.
Which life is a blank canvas you can do anything with, but figuring out a way to make yourself happy.
Yeah.
And make the world a better place. I feel like that's right there. You're good. Boom.
Yeah.
You look out for other people, people look out for you. It's the yin and the yang of life.
Exactly, yeah.
If people are single-minded, if you're single-minded, everybody around you will be single-minded.
Yeah. It just takes one person.
It just takes changing your mindset.
Yeah.
And everything else will change its way. I had a pee. I drank a lot.
Alright.
I had this crazy dry mouth. Plug in all your stuff.
Huh?
Do all your plugs.
Okay.
Your Facebook. And all
Alright,
that stuff,
cool.
and all that stuff.
So yeah, you can listen to Alabaster at youtube.com/Alabaster Jamband, I believe. And you can check us out on Facebook. That's Alabaster, that's facebook.com/Alabaster Band. And then we're on Instagram as Alabaster the Band. And I think that's everything. We're on Soundcloud, which I believe is also Alabaster the Band. And then we're also on Twitter as Alabaster Band. I'm pretty sure that's everything.
Shit, yeah, it's been awesome, dude. It's been a fun one.
Yeah, I like this.
But yeah, I mean, I just like this media source. I just like, this is just a very, I got introduced to podcasts from, I always been a fan of like storytelling and stuff like that. And originally, I had fallen in love with old 50s like radio stories.
Fuck yeah, like Cisco Kid and shit.
Yeah, stuff like that. But I really like that. I like just, I liked, always like books, like audio tapes. Because I've never been a great reader.
Okay.
But I'm a very good listener, right? I'm very good at like, I got really good imagery and I'm able to like get into these deeper spots where like you almost feel like you're daydreaming, right? You're in that. Your brain's moving. You might be doing something else, but your brain is rolling it's rolling and everything.
Yeah.
So like when I listened to that, and I was listening to those for a while, and I was really having a good time with that because it's like watching TV.
Yeah.
But you can still do everything you want to do, and you're able to, and there's an added element of personalizing it, right?
Right. Yeah. You can
So
kind of paint it however you think.
Yeah, paint the picture how you want it.
Yeah.
I had a coworker at the country club. He was a college student, real smart guy, but he was much older than me. He was probably 20 at the time or 21 at the time. I was like 16, and he's like, "Yo, listen to this shit," right? He showed me a Joe Rogan episode with Joey Diaz on it.
Nice.
And Joey Diaz he's this big like New York, this big Cuban dude, right?
Yeah.
Like he's got that like Brooklyn sound to him, right? The big loud Italian sound where it's just always talking these big stories and like listen here, right?
Yeah.
Just like they were great. It's just like part of the culture over there. It's like great storytelling, right?
Yeah.
Well, so I listened to that. I'm like, fuck, right? And I kept listening. And I just started listening to the two of them mostly. And I still do to this day.
Yeah, dude, I love listening to the Joe Rogan Experience.
But like, some of the stuff that he hits, right? I like Joe not because he's, he likes to have a good perspective, right?
Yeah.
Like when this was probably 3 years ago, but he had the people from Monsanto's on, right, for genetically engineered food, and then he had somebody who was against genetically modified food.
Really?
Yeah.
In the same podcast?
Same week.
The same week, okay.
Yeah, one was this day, one was the next day.
Yeah, okay.
But it made me understand why the big corporations are bad, but also why they're good.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, they do some good.
They do a lot of good. The services that they give are really good.
Yeah.
But there are some drawbacks to them.
Definitely.
Like if it wasn't for Monsanto's, it wasn't for genetically modified food, or genetically engineered food, we wouldn't have enough food to feed everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be possible.
Right.
There's no real way we could all go organic.
Yeah.
The yields are too small.
Right. And because the yields are too small, we need to use more land.
Yeah.
So.
We need to use more land, and then.
Yeah.
It takes more people, and that's why when you go to buy organic mushrooms, you get 4 of these little dried up looking garbage things, and they're twice as much as the other ones. The other ones got these lush, very full looking plants. So, I mean, there's a whole slew of things to go into everything, and like understanding the whole process behind it all. And like just finding what you're passionate about, right?
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan has all these people on, right? And they're all from super different avenues. And
that's what's cool. They're all really different.
You get so much variety and stuff that I would never hear about. And probably a couple months after I started listening to him, I completely gave up TV.
Yeah. Completely
gave up mainstream media.
Nice.
And I deleted all my social media.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're not even on like Facebook or anything?
I have a Facebook page for the podcast, but that's it.
Okay, cool.
Because I realized if it's important, I'll find out about it.
Yeah.
And the majority of stuff you see on these the mainstream media is all about ratings, right?
Yeah.
It's just like any other TV show. But you can't fault them for it.
Right.
They're trying to make their money.
Yeah.
If you're not being watched, what's the point of having it on?
Exactly.
But like if you go to these, the thing I like about podcasts, you can listen to things that interest you, that are important to you,
Yeah.
and it enables you to have a perspective that you otherwise wouldn't have, or to explore things that you otherwise wouldn't have explored.
Yeah.
Because you can find anything, you can look up anything, you can learn about anything.
Freedom of the internet.
Exactly. Coming back to net neutrality, and why we need to be able to have a free access, because it's important.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know something, you can find it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even anything. Really.
Even if you're
Just
coming
anything.
up, even if you're trying to come up with an original idea, you need to pull from something. You need to do research on something. It exists. It's out there.
Yeah. Exactly.
No idea is completely original. It's always piggybacking off something else.
Yeah. It's improvements.
Yeah. It's like, what is the computer? It's a TV
Yeah.
that you can control.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all this, it's a TV mixed with a telephone and
Or like a car.
Yeah.
Came from the train.
Yeah, I mean, they're all iterations of each other.
Yeah.
Like, even the light bulb, that's original, but they're really just trying to do it...
Better than candles.
Exactly. Like, everything is... It changes the world, but it all comes off of each other. And the internet gives you the ability to know more about this.
Right. Yeah, there's only so much original... And that goes with music, too. There's only so much originality, because there's only...
Every band has an influence.
Yeah, and there's only... like 7 or 12 notes. 7 notes. I don't know, I should probably know this. Just different octaves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you can only do so much with those notes.
Even if the variety is gigantic, it's not
Limitless.
exactly.
Yeah, it's not
there is a limit to it.
Yeah.
And it's about taking advantage of what you have and making it your own.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain topics you'll look up, and you can't find something that has the combination of this, and this. But if you put this, and this together, you can make that.
Yeah, right.
Or even if it's like a paper that you're trying to write, making this argument that nobody's really touched on.
You still have to pull information from other things involving that.
You can strictly go off research of other people,
Yeah.
string it all together, and make an argument that hasn't been made before.
Right, yeah.
And that's just kind of how it is. Like, you have the ability to take advantage of what you have.
Yeah.
We have this great resource, this great tool, the internet, and to take that away from people is just like, it's taking away their freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Like, your freedom of speech is number one, and to take away the ability to put it out there in the airways and allow anybody to look at it,
Yeah.
it takes away people's freedoms.
Especially because now times have changed so much where that's how people communicate, you know?
And I'm sure part of this net neutrality thing is from the old heads that are trying to stop this revolution from happening. Because if this were to go through, it would stop whatever progress we have for probably 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It would stop the progress that we've made. Because the things that we have today are crazy. Like the internet, just with stem cells in the medical field, and just the ability to put stuff out on your own with the internet, and just everything is moving so damn quickly.
Yeah.
It amazes me. Why let this stop?
I don't know. I've researched a fair amount about it.
Huh? Yeah, what's up?
Are you on the podcast?
Yeah.
No.
What?
Pause it?
Yeah, I can pause it.
No worries, dude. That's what a podcast is.
That's what I like about them, because they can go as long as you want them to.
Yeah. Oh shit, dude. I think. Yeah, Joe Rogan's got some that are like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like you get into a flow and you just keep going.
Because it's just talking. Yeah, like
It's us having a
you
conversation.
just forget it's there sometimes.
Yeah, and
And then you just start talking.
that's when I've noticed they've become really good. So when you just get talking.
Yeah, you just forget about this
It just-
and all this.
It becomes this crazy natural conversation. And you have to have them with certain people.
Yeah.
Some people just aren't meant to have these crazy conversations, or they're just not comfortable with you enough to have them.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Or they just that's not their thing, right?
Yeah. Some people just don't like
Yeah.
getting that.
Or
deep.
if you're not on their topic, if you're not on that topic that
Yeah.
they can go deep on. I mean, everybody's unique. What the fuck is this?
Getting blown up.
Jesus Christ. No, it's the same person. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Classic iPhone sounds.
And ding, ding, ding. Oh, that's the greatest thing. Oh my god. So, what the fuck? Is this like getting dimmer?
It's definitely.
Hey, are you messing with the dimmer? It must have been.
That was weird.
That was super weird. That was no, because these are on like there's, or the light's going out. There's a bad ballast here.
Well, that's probably what that is then.
Cause it's one of those curly cue balls.
Yeah, like I know. What you're talking
Yeah,
about.
well, with those bulbs, you can't dim them if you're not at a full power. Because with like a normal incandescent bulb, you can vary how much power you have in them.
Yeah, you can't do that with those.
With a fluorescent bulb, it's either they're on or off. You either have a threshold high enough to illuminate them, or you're below that. And when you're floating that number, the slight fluctuation with power, because the current in a house it's a pulsating current.
Right.
So when you're at a certain threshold, it'll actually flash.
Huh.
It's very weird.
I never knew that.
Yeah, super bizarre. So
That's interesting. Oh.
so I don't know why it's doing it right now. I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea. But cool, let's wrap this guy up. You plug all your stuff?
I mentioned some shit in the middle when you took your last piss break.
Well, do it again.
Alright.
Because I'll just throw this at the beginning.
Alright, cool.
Shit, I'll cut it. We can just do an intro right now.
Alright, cool.
Just, cool. Well, hope everybody enjoyed the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, dude.
No problem. It's, be a pleasure.
Yes, of course.
Absolutely.
Oh, baby, you treat me running all over town now. It's bad enough so I've been feeling enough so oh, I've been feeling down.